is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Low rounding and heading for second. The throw. In time.
On the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Homers galore. That's been the story recently for the Blue Jays, who've left the yard in 11 straight games. Ernie Clement's blast yesterday powered Toronto to a 5-3 win over the LA Angels. Now, the Blue Jays try for more power and another victory. Hello and welcome to Rogers Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Roger Lajoie is our host, Nick Blackmore our producer, Andrew Adams and Tom Young are our technical directors. Toronto Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Saint-Jérôme and Saint-Eustache, Quebec. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. It's a good day to bring out the power stroke as rookie Jack Kohanowitz takes the mound for the Angels. The righty has allowed a homer in all 4 of his career starts. Trying to keep LA in the yard is Chris Bassitt, the Blue Jays starter, who takes the mound next. We'll be back after these messages. You're listening to Blue Jays baseball, streaming at sportsnet.ca, the Sportsnet app, and across the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's building center. Visit timbermart.ca.
This is Bob Kendrick, president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum and host of the award-winning podcast, Black Diamonds. This week, we discuss Negro League statistics being integrated into the MLB record book.
This game, I realize how important it is to this country, to our history. Having the Negro Leagues included into all of this baseball history is as American as you can get.
Listen to Black Diamonds right now on the all-new SiriusXM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Tune to SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 all year long to hear expert opinions and analysis from former players, coaches, and executives.
Radio Network.
1-2 pitch is hit high, very deep, left field. Ward going back. Ernie Clement has left the yard. That pitch was up near his eyes, and he somehow hit it out. Third game for Clement in a row with a home run, and it's 4-0 Blue Jays.
He's really intense, and I think that he's done a great job of kind of transitioning into playing every day. It doesn't really surprise me because I think he's had a battle for everything his entire career, and he's taken advantage of a time where he gets to play, and he's going about it the right way.
That was manager John Schneider talking about Ernie Clement, who's been a big part of the Blue Jays' recent power surge. Clement, with homers in 3 straight games, helped the Blue Jays with a 2-run shot yesterday take a 5-3 series opening win from the Los Angeles Angels. Welcome back to Rogers Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. And Chris, the Blue Jays, Clement at the front of it, trying to keep the good times going with the bats.
Yeah, Ernie Clement, you heard John Schneider talk about it. He goes about it the right way in the clubhouse, in the dugout, on the field. He's always laughing. And then to have 3 straight games with a home run is pretty incredible. If you told me that he would do that in spring training, I would have told you you are out of your mind. Ernie Clement is one of my favorite players to watch, and I hope it continues for him.
Clement will be at shortstop for the Blue Jays today. We're going to get to the lineup in just a sec, but first, the Bet365 standings. At Bet365, you can bet live in-game on game props, totals, and the money line. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Blue Jays in the basement of the AL East, 60-68, 15 back of the New York Yankees, and the Angels in the basement of the AL West, 54-74. First time they've been 20 games below 500 this season. They are 15.5 away from the Houston Astros, one of the hottest teams in all of baseball. Those two matching up tonight. Chris, who is in the lineup for Ron Washington's Los Angeles Angels?
Leading off for those Angels is Taylor Ward. He'll be in left field. At shortstop is Zach Neto. He's batting second. Batting third is Nolan Shawnuel. He'll play first base. In the cleanup spot is former Jay Kevin Pillar. He'll be in center field. At third base is Anthony Rendon. He'll bat fifth. Batting sixth is Logan O'Hoppe. He'll be behind the plate. Batting seventh is Nico Kravatis. He'll DH. At second base is former Jay Brandon Drury. He'll bat eighth. And batting ninth is Joe Adell. He'll be in right field. On the mound for the Halos, making his fifth career start, is Jack Kohanowitz. For the Jays, leading off is George Springer. He'll DH. Batting second is Dalton Varsho. He'll be in center field. At first base is Spencer Horwitz. He'll bat third. In the cleanup spot is Alejandro Kirk. He's behind the plate. At second base is Will Wagner. He's batting fifth. Batting sixth is Ernie Clement. He's at shortstop. In left field is Joey Loperfido. He'll bat seventh. Batting eighth is Addison Barger. He'll be at third base. And batting ninth is Stuart Baroa. He's in right field. On the mound is righty Chris Bassitt.
Bassitt making his 26th start of the season for the Blue Jays, a 9-12 record, a 4.34 ERA that he's trying to bring down a little bit, 134 strikeouts and 54 walks in 139 innings. But guys have just been a little bit on him this year. He leads the American League in hits allowed with 146.
Yeah, it's been an up and down season for Chris Bassitt. There's been a few starts, and more than a few starts this year, where he leaves pitches over the middle of the plate. He tries to get that fastball inside to lefties, and it just runs right over the middle of the plate. He tries to get that cutter that we've seen so often up and in, and he leaves it out over the middle of the plate. Chris Bassitt is a great pitcher. He still has great stuff, but he just has to tighten that up a bit and make better pitches.
Interesting thing right here. I mean, we're scheduled for a 7:07 first pitch. No one is out on the field yet. Joey Loperfido is standing alone near the foul line in left field. DeMarlo Hale, the associate manager, is talking to Ryan Additon, the home plate ump tonight. Chris Bassitt was in conversation with Additon as well, and Bassitt is just taking a sweatshirt off now in the dugout. Typically the team would more than be warming up at this point. They'd probably be playing. But Bassitt now takes the hoodie off, reveals the City Connect dark uniform, and steps out of the dugout to lead the Blue Jays onto the field. Toronto comes charging out now with Spencer Horwitz leaving the dugout as well, and Bassitt ready to embark on start number 26. Mentioned Ryan Additon. He's the home plate umpire tonight. The crew chief is Doug Eddings. He's at first base. Second base umpire is Gabe Morales, and Edwin Jimenez umpires third base. For the Blue Jays, they're wearing their pitch blue, almost black City Connect uniforms with the bright red and blue piping across them. And then the Angels wearing their red uniforms today. They'll have gray pants along with that. And batting in the first inning for Los Angeles will be Taylor Ward, Zach Neto, and Nolan Shawnuel. It was a tough day with the bats for the Angels yesterday. Didn't score until there were 2 outs in the ninth inning.
Yeah, Nick Kravatis hit that good fastball from Tommy Nance. Just stuck the bat out, got the barrel to it. Hit that ball just over the fence in left field, and you have to feel for Tommy Nance. He's pitched so well since coming to Toronto. His stuff is great, and you give up that 3-run home run as a reliever with just 7 innings, 8 innings, and that just skyrockets the ERA. You could see how disappointed Tommy Nance was after making that pitch. Hunched over, probably thinking to himself, am I going to get DFA'd now? Am I going to get sent back to AAA? He's still here, and I'm happy he's still here.
Ron Washington on the flip side said after the game he was encouraged by that swing. The Angels have been scoreless in 17 straight innings before Kavadas hit that 3-run homer. So they'll try to build on that as Taylor Ward steps up to the plate now and greets Alejandro Kirk. Our first inning is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. Right-handed hitter Taylor Ward brings his .236 average to the box. 16 home runs, bat above his right shoulder, looking at Bassitt. The wind in the first pitch. Swing and a bouncer right side. Horwitz goes to the backhand side, picks it up. Overhand throw back to Bassitt, covering first base for the first out. Time of the first pitch today, 7:10 Eastern. A beautiful day in downtown Toronto. It's heated back up to 25 degrees. Blue skies overhead. A streak of clouds from left center to right center, but really nice day.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I've said this a few times this week, but this might be the most beautiful evening of the year so far.
It got a little chilly earlier in the week, but it's a lot more comfortable now, a lot more August feeling. Here's the pitch to Zach Neto. It's high ball one.
And I know there's been a lot of hoopla because Kevin Pillar is back in town, but Ryan Goins actually did the lineup exchange with DeMarlo Hale today. Another popular former Jay.
Absolutely. Zach Neto, the shortstop, bats from the right side. Here's Bassitt's 1-0. And he stumbles and never delivered the pitch. And I believe that they're going to get him with a pitch clock violation. And they are. It's going to be 2-0. So an odd one there. Bassitt never let go of the ball. Righty nods now and winds. Here's the 2-0 to Neto. Fastball in there, strike one.
He's thrown a couple of great fastballs already, a lot of run. That first pitch of the game was 94 miles an hour. Tons of sink down in the zone. That's a good sign for Chris Bassitt.
Bassitt twists and deals. 2-1 pitch hit foul. Another fastball at 95 this time. And it's 2-2.
We've seen him anywhere from 91 to 96 miles an hour this year. He's thrown a lot of 91, 92, 93. It's a good sign to see him at 95 miles an hour this early in the ballgame.
Neto, the .259 hitter with 19 homers, steps out of the box. Bassitt palming the baseball and looking into the sky. Bassitt reaches down and grabs a little bit of dirt off the mound and now steps onto the rubber. A breath and a nod from the righty. The wind and the 2-2. Slow breaking ball misses inside. And that sinker could be a reason why Bassitt has taken a step back this year in terms of production. The mid-4s ERA would be his worst in a full season of his career if you were to stop the season now. And his sinker this season is allowing an average of about 340. Last season it was more like 230.
Well, I think he was just locating it better last year. Like I said earlier, he's just throwing too many pitches over the heart of the plate.
2-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Goes with the sweeper and gets Neto leaning forward. And that's the first strikeout of the day for Bassitt. 2 down in the top of the first.
And it's almost like he was listening to us. That was a great sweeper. Started down the middle and ended just off the plate. Neto swinging through it, but a lot of the time this season, he'll start that sweeper on the inside part of the plate, and it'll drop over the middle, and it becomes a very hittable pitch. That one right there, no chance.
First pitch fastball to Nolan Shonowell on the outside edge, strike one. Shonowell, the second-year player, playing in his 120th game of the season, batting .253. 0-1. Slow breaking ball, misses outside.
I still can't believe that this time last year he was just drafted.
Yeah, I mean, he was taken with a high pick out of Florida Atlantic University, 11th overall. 1-1. High, 2-1. And he just kind of rapidly climbed up to the majors. He was tabbed as an MLB-ready prospect. He hit .447 at FAU last year with 19 homers in 59 games. The 2-1. Swing and a fly ball left center field. Varsho moves to his right. waves off low Perfito and makes the catch to end the inning. Comfortable 1-2-3 for Chris Bassitt. Scoreless ball game. We go to the bottom of the first. Springer, Varsho, Horwitz next for the Blue Jays. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. On Junior J Sunday, so many things to do. You can bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays. Get to the ballpark early to enjoy outdoor activities before continuing the fun inside while you cheer on the Blue Jays.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike three. Got him to chase the back foot slider. That's a strikeout for Pop.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left, Chris LaRue, Roger Lajoie, our host, Nick Blackmore, our producer, Andrew Adams and Tom Young, our technical directors. No score, bottom of the first, Blue Jays and Angels. Jack Kahanowitz deals to George Springer. It's a fastball low, 1-0. Kahanowitz, a rookie, making his fifth career Major League start. 1-3 with a 6.5 ERA. 6'7" right-hander, kicks and releases. And Springer hits it back off the glove of the pitcher, rolling to the second baseman, Drury, who pops up and throws to first. 1 out.
I'm actually pretty excited to watch Kahanowitz throw. He's a big guy, 6'7", 230 pounds. But the most impressive thing about him is he has a natural upper 90s sinker, which you don't really see that often. Zach Pop, Clay Holmes. But Kahanowitz is a starter, and that's really the only pitch that he uses. He has a curveball, but that fastball he throws 64% of the time.
His pitch to Dalton Varsho outside, ball 1. Yeah, the mix is sinker, curve, change, and the change is rarely used. The change you'll see a little bit against left-handed hitters like Varsho, who's batting right now, sporting a .213 average and 15 home runs. 1-0. Swing and a high fly ball. Medium depth left field, curling back toward the corner. Taylor Ward is under it, makes the catch. 2 outs.
Not many strikeouts either for Kahanowitz. 7 Ks coming into this ballgame in almost 21 innings.
It's been an interesting start to his career. A third rounder in 2019 out of high school in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania, about 30 minutes west of Philadelphia. Came up for 2 starts in July and got rocked, but came back up in mid-August and has been really good. Here's his pitch to Spencer Horwitz, outside, ball 1. You go to his last 2 starts at Washington and then home against the Braves. 4 earned runs in almost 14 innings. 1-0. Swing and a bouncer, left side. Neto, the shortstop, backhands it, throws to first, and that's a 1-2-3 inning for Kahanowitz. Only throws 6 pitches to retire the Blue Jays in order and send us to the second, where we're still scoreless. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Soak in the energy of endless summer nights in a beachside party paradise. Sounds of Ibiza, a channel featuring Afro House, techno, and what's trending from the island. sounds of Ibiza. One of over 200 extra channels always available in the Sirius XM app. And now for a limited time on Channel 105 on most radios.
I'm Peter Bergen, a national security journalist, author, and host of the Audible podcast In the Room. Each week, I bring you direct from the source reporting on the most important and perplexing issues facing our world today, like how local election officials can ensure the integrity of the voting process, why people are drawn to conspiracy theories, and whether international sanctions ever really make a difference. Just search In the Room in the Sirius XM app.
Feel the thrill of the Premier League on Sirius XM FC.
Arsenal running riot. A quick-fire double from Chelsea.
Hear every pulse-pounding moment.
Haaland scores the hat-trick. Brilliant left-foot strike by Salah. What a goal by Marcus Rashford.
From the world's most exciting league.
Absolutely glorious from Tottenham Hotspur. Manchester United turn it round.
All on your radio home for the beautiful game.
If you like soccer, you are in the right place.
The Premier League lives on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Time for the second inning, which is presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Hope you're having a good start to the weekend. The Blue Jays and Angels getting ready for the second inning here in the second game of 4. And leading off in this inning, longtime Toronto Blue Jays center fielder Kevin Pillar will bat for the Angels to an applause from the Toronto crowd.
Yeah, Kevin Pillar, who was actually wandering around the field today with a Ryan Goins Blue Jays jersey on.
The Red Canada Day jersey as well. Chris Bassitt's pitch to Pillar, and he hit him on the back. First pitch was a breaking ball that ran in, and Pillar is going to head down to first.
And that curveball was 69 miles an hour. Just got away from Chris Bassitt a little bit. You can see the frustration on his face. You can kind of see it pop out of his hands. That thing, it actually got Pillar on that elbow pad. Probably really didn't feel much, I'm sure.
For the Angels, or for either side, this is the first base runner of the game. Now the pitch to Anthony Rendon. Low ball 1. By the way, with Pillar, he wore that jersey in part because he tweeted out that he was going to give away 4 tickets to a fan today who could correctly guess which former teammate's jersey it was going to be. 1-0 to Rendon. Down and away, ball 2. For some reason, Justin Smoke got a lot of traction. I don't think many looked at and I don't blame them, at the coaching staff for the Angels to maybe figure out that Ryan Goins would be in the ballpark. And that was a big reason why. 2-0. Outside ball 3. But Pillar on first after the hit by pitch, and now with Anthony Rendon up, a .229 hitter in his 46th game of the year. Rendon is a pitch away from getting a 4-pitch walk. Wide open stance for the right-handed hitter. Knee slightly bent. 3-0 pitch. He watches it all the way down the middle for strike 1. Scoreless game, top of 2. Infield is a little bit to the pull side for the righty hitter, but nothing crazy. Outfield shifts to the opposite field. 3-1. Swing and a foul back, and Bassitt has battled back into a full count. For Chris Bassitt, this is the 14th time he faces the Angels in his career, 12th start. Although the only guy he has a lot of track record against is Anthony Rendon, who's 2 for 13 career against Bassitt with a homer. 3-2 pitch. Pillar takes off. Swing and a liner, foul. Off of the netting and into the seats down the right field line.
And Pillar got a great jump on that pitch from Chris Bassitt. Would have easily stolen that base. He's a burner. He's got 9 stolen bases this year. Not the guy that he used to be, but he's definitely a guy that can still steal a base. You have to pay attention to him out there at first base.
25 for the Blue Jays in 2015. 3-2. Pillar holds this time, and Rendon fouls it back again. I mean, not very many guys were running that much in the mid to late 2010s. 25 in 2015 is almost like 40 today with the new rules and the new emphasis on stealing bases.
Baseball is a lot more exciting when you see guys steal bases. I can tell you that much.
Bassitt in the set, looking for his first out of the second. 3-2 again, and this one is hit hard down the left field line. That's a base hit going into the corner. Pilar around second, headed to third. They give him the wave around third. The relay's cut off, and it's an RBI double for Anthony Rendon as Pilar comes in to score, and the Angels take a 1-0 lead.
And that is just the 9th RBI of Anthony Rendon's season. In 166 at-bats, no home runs, just 9 RBIs now. But he takes that sinker on the inside part of the plate and rips it just past the third base bag and Addison Barger.
Took the Angels 26 outs to score their first run yesterday. They score their first run today with nobody out in the second inning. It's still trouble for Bassitt. Rendon on second, and the pitch to Logan O'Hoppe, swing and a miss, strike one. O'Hoppe, one of the promising young Angels they're trying to build around. The catcher hitting .255 this year with 17 home runs and 50 RBIs. 0-1. Bounced. 1 ball, 1 strike. O'Hoppe was a 23rd rounder by the Phillies in 2018 out of high school on Long Island. Was a top Phillies prospect when he was traded for Brandon Marsh at the 2022 deadline. The pitch. Fastball at the knees, and the count's now 1-2.
I think that was a pretty good trade all around.
Yeah, it was kind of a you're both winning in that one. I think the Phillies needed outfield help. The Angels not in it. We're looking for a high prospect.
Well, the Phillies certainly don't need a catcher.
No, not at all. 1-2. Down and away, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
We'll see those Phillies in about a week.
Yeah, they're very good, but maybe not quite on the roll that they were earlier in the season. So that'll be an interesting series.
Still a fun team to watch, though. A lot of big names on that roster.
Super fun. One of the more fun teams in all of baseball, I think, to watch over the last couple years. 1-0 Angels in the second, the 2-2. Down and away, ball 3. Bassitt staring down at the mound, shakes his head, now goes to his right hip for the pitch comm and steps back on the rubber. A look at Rendon at second, and the 3-2. Swing and a soft liner foul over the third base bag and down just in front of the netting.
And you do have to be careful with O'Hoppe. You have an open base. I know there's no outs in this inning, but O'Hoppe has 17 home runs. If you throw one over the heart of the plate, he's liable to do damage with it.
Another 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Went with the cutter on the outside third of the plate. And for Chris Bassitt, his first out of the second comes via the strikeout.
I like that pitch right there from Chris Bassitt. You can see the target from Alejandro Kirk is a little bit elevated at the top of that strike zone. And Chris Bassitt absolutely drills that target. Logan O'Hoppe down swinging.
Big first out for Bassitt after the hit by pitch and double. 1-0 Angels, 1 out top of the second. Nico Cavadas is up, the pitch. Strike 1. Left-handed hitter Cavadas came up with his first career major league hit and major league home run. With 1 swing yesterday in the ninth, he hit a 3-run homer to get a couple of crooked numbers up on the Jumbotron. 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Cavadas, another prospect deadline acquisition of the Angels. He came over this deadline from the Red Sox. Bassitt's 1-1. Up and in.
Yeah, Cavadas 1 for 15 with that homer last night on Tommy Nance. How many guys can say that their first big league hit was a home run? That's pretty cool. And
almost a very impactful one. The Blue Jays settled down, but that made things pretty dicey. 2-1 pitch to Kavadas outside, 3-1. That's a big part of the prospect profile for Kavadas. With the home run yesterday, he's now hit 20 home runs in all 3 of his professional seasons. Full ones, that is, not counting the handful of games the year he got drafted. 3-1 pitch up top, ball 4. Kavadas drops the bat and jogs down to first. In 2 days, you could be like Sandy from Bracebridge, Ontario, a dedicated supporter of Jace Care Foundation and a recent 50-50 jackpot winner. Sandy won nearly $200,000, and the first thing she says she's going to do is renovate her 50-year-old kitchen. What would you do if you won Jace Care's 50-50 jackpot this Sunday? Get your ticket at bluejays.com/5050 from Ontario or Nova Scotia. Brandon Drury stepping up to the plate. Pitch from Chris Bassitt in there, strike 1. 50-50 jackpot, by the way, almost $300,000. And here in the top of the second inning, it's first and second for the Angels. 1-0 LA and 1 out.
I think I would go to St. Louis Bar and Grill for rib sanity.
You're really collabing right now, a lot of the different things. 0-1. Called strike, 0-2.
Although I do miss wing sanity. I'm more of a wing guy than a rib guy.
Why not both? Brandon Drury batting, having a bit of a tough season this year. 159 hitter, has missed some games due to injury. This is just his 72nd game. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a foul back off to the right. Still 0-2.
Chris Bassitt's really leaning on that cutter right now. He falls behind in the count. He throws that cutter, trying to get some weak contact. He's been doing that a lot lately. The cutter at about 90, 91 to the top of the zone, and it's really worked out well for him.
Cutter allowed Bassitt to get his lone out of this inning. A strikeout from Logan O'Hoppe. 0-2 again. Missed downstairs with the sinker. Bassitt's thrown a lot of pitches so far. 4 outs recorded, and he's on 35 pitches right now. Looking for a ground ball to finish off this inning with runners on first and second. 1 out and the 1-2. Both runners take off. Pitch is called strike 3. Throw down to third, not in time. So Bassitt gets Drury, the batter, on a curveball. Drury doesn't like it, having some words with Ryan Addison, but it's a successful double steal. Rendon takes third and Kavadas takes second.
Yeah, Brandon Drury definitely didn't like that call, but that slow breaking ball from Chris Bassitt landed right in the strike zone, actually giving Alejandro Kirk no chance to throw out the runner there at third base. Good pick from Addison Barger, too. That almost went into left field.
Rendon now picks up his 6th stolen base of the year for Kavadas, his first Major League stolen base. And the pitch to Joe Adell is low ball 1. Second and third, 2 outs top of the second, 1-0 Angels. Infield playing back near the edge of the dirt. Here's the 1-0. Adell takes the heater on the outside edge, strike 1.
Man, Brandon Drury is really going through it this season. Almost 250 at-bats, 1 homer.
It's been that kind of year for a couple Angels. And that's why they're on this tough pace right now, entering today 54 and 74. 1-1. Outside, 2-1. For Joe Adell, though, the batter right now, it's been a breakout year of sorts. Hitting only .213, but 18 home runs, 57 RBIs. Dell's been a notable Angels prospect for a while, although that might deceive you into thinking he's older than he is. He's just 25 years old. 2-1 pitch, late swing and a miss at the cutter, 2-2.
Yeah, really awkward swing right there on the cutter, but I like Joe Adell. I like the package, the power. Obviously, the average at .213 isn't great, but like you said, he's just 25. He also has 14 stolen bases this season.
Bassitt trying to strand a pair in scoring position. 2 outs in the 2-2. Adell fouls it back into the netting. Probably lucky there for Bassitt as he left the cutter right down the middle.
Yeah, and that cutter really didn't cut. It was almost like a BP fastball at 90 miles an hour. Joe Adell just missed it.
2-2. Swing and another foul ball behind the plate. This time he slowed it down with the curve. A run in this inning for the Angels. Pilar scored on the Rendon double. Rendon's on third and Cavades on second. 2-2 count and 2 outs. Bassitt's pitch. Fastball just off the plate outside. Ball 3.
And Chris Bassitt is beside himself right now that Addington didn't call that a strike, but I tend to agree with Addington. It was a sinker that started off the plate, broke back, and didn't quite catch that strike zone. Good call from Addington, actually.
Bassitt's going to step off now and give himself an extra 18 seconds, resetting that clock. It's been a long inning. Chris Bassitt on 43 pitches now, trying to get through the second. Full count offering. Swing and a fly ball deep right center field. Varsho going back into the gap, pulls up, it's off the wall. Both runners score. Rendon and Cavades. Sliding into second is Joe Adell, and the Angels are up 3-0 in the second inning.
And there's another one of those cutters that really didn't cut. He threw that thing right down the middle. When he throws that cutter, he generally wants to get it to the top of the zone. That one right there was about thigh high, right down the middle. Didn't really cut at all. And again, it just turns into a BP fastball when that happens, and Joe Adell absolutely drilled it into the gap and right.
For Adell, his 15th double of the season, now has 59 RBIs, and Pete Walker's going to go talk to Chris Bassitt.
Well, I think the biggest thing is throw strike one. He's struggled to throw strike one. He's fallen behind a bunch of hitters. He hit a batter. If you don't throw strike one, you can't really pitch to your scouting report. I think that's what Pete Walker is probably saying to Chris Bassitt right now.
Mound meeting over now. Yeah, it was kind of an ominous start to the inning. You hit Kevin Pilar with the first pitch of the inning. Then you throw 3 straight balls to Anthony Rendon, and even though he got it to a full count, Rendon doubles. There was a strikeout on a 3-2 pitch, but then another walk, and it's been a little bit scattered so far for Bassitt in the second. Back to the top of the order. The pitch to Taylor Ward is hit softly down the first baseline, off the bag and into right field. Adell around third. He's going to score, and it's 4-0 Angels on a tough one there for Bassitt. Very weak contact by Ward, but couldn't have placed it better, and he gets an RBI single.
Yeah, Taylor Ward actually, that was a little cue shot right down the first baseline, snuck past that first base bag. He was way out in front of that changeup. A pretty good pitch from Chris Bassitt. It actually hit the first base bag for an RBI and a 4-0 Angels lead.
Bassitt trying to get through this inning desperately. Now has a runner on first, 2 outs, and the pitch to Zach Neto. Called strike 0-1. Although it was done with more hits and fewer walks, this is feeling similar to how the Blue Jays won the game yesterday when they had a 5-run outburst in the second inning and rested on that for the rest of the game, winning 5-3. A 1 pitch to Neto. Shows bunt, pulls it back, called strike at the knees, 0-2. Neto will ask for time. Shaking his head right now. Didn't love the call on the last pitch as he adjusts the batting gloves.
That was a great pitch.
It was a very good pitch. I thought it was pretty buntable.
I'm annoyed by Neto actually thinking that wasn't a strike, because that might have been Chris Bassitt's best pitch of the day.
I thought it was a pretty buntable pitch, though, actually. If you're going to bunt something, bottom of the zone fastball feels pretty good. 0-2. Down and away, ball 1. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you think a guy's bunting, it's spin or pitches up in the zone, right?
Yeah, generally you want to throw that pitch up. I know it's hard in the moment, but if you see a guy square specifically for a sack bunt, you want him to pop that ball up.
So you figure that ball down's probably a good one. 1-2 pitch, broken bat liner off the back of Bassitt. He picks up the ball and tosses over to first to end the inning. He got hit by the ball, and the barrel flew to shortstop. All in all, a tough top of the second. The Halos score 4 runs, and the Angels now leading the Blue Jays 4-0, middle of 2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At
Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep. Because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
The Blue Jays are inviting you to work from Dome. Put it in your calendar. 307 weekdays starts this season. You can work from Dome with friends or coworkers at Rogers Center. It's a game changer. Make the ballpark your office for the afternoon. Work from Dome, 307 weekday starts. Let's touch base. Check out ticket options on bluejays.com/workfromdome.
We're twomeninatruck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved.
Take 2 men in a truck, 2 men in a truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day, Think 2 men in a truck, 2 men in a truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2 men in a truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Roddy rocks the ball to left field. The Blue Jays have gone back-to-back.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the second at Rogers Center, 4-0. The Angels lead the Blue Jays. Alejandro Kirk leading off for Toronto, and the first pitch from Jack Kahanowitz outside, ball 1. Kirk, Wagner, Clement. Toronto trying to get back in it after the 4-run top half of the inning. 1-0. Kirk takes a called strike. 1-1.
Chris Bassitt's thrown 49 pitches in this ballgame. Jack Kahanowitz, you know how many he's thrown?
I do. I saw it. It's 8. 1-1. Swing and a bouncer to the right side. Picked up on the right field turf by the second baseman, Drury, who throws out Kirk for the first out.
And I know those strikeout totals are low for Kahanowitz, but he's been pretty impressive so far in those 9 pitches that he's thrown. A big fastball. And like I said, he's 6'7", so a lot of tilt on that sinker as well. 96, 97. Look for a lot of fastballs today.
Right-hander takes a breath, deals to Will Wagner. Miss high and outside, ball 1. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. When it comes to home improvements, Timbermart has the expert advice and the right products at the right price, so you won't find yourself out in left field on your next DIY project. Game on, home team. Timbermart is Canada's building center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Next pitch to Wagner was a called strike, and it's 1-1 with 1 out, bases empty, and the Angels up 4-0 in the second. Pitch to Wagner. Foul tip, 1-2.
Will Wagner's now 11 for 28, but still searching for that first homer.
.393 in 9 games, 3 doubles, and 5 RBIs, including 1 yesterday on a single in the second. Hits the next pitch, foul off the netting, off to the left, still 1-2. Four pitches to Wagner. This is the longest at-bat Kahanowitz has pitched in so far today. His 1-2. Again hit foul. White batting gloves for Wagner. Contrast the Dark City Connect uniform. Holds the bat on his left shoulder, wiggling the fingers a little bit. 1-2 again. High, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That was the rare four-seamer from Kahanowitz. Throws that thing just 2% of the time.
Threw it at 97, but just a little too far up high. Now it's 2-2. Swing and a foul ball into the second deck, left side.
As a sinker ball pitcher, and I think that Zach Pop should start doing this as well, is you want to throw that four-seamer because it stays straight. You get them off that sink. It's a little bit elevated. It's really hard to throw an elevated sinker, and that's what he was trying to do right there.
2-2. Swing and another foul ball. Went back to the four-seamer, up in the zone. But Wagner fights off 97.
Yeah, I like that pitch right there. If you get that thing about 2 inches higher, I'm sure Will Wagner swings right through it.
Wagner's now seen 8 pitches in this at-bat. Number 9 on the way. Swing and a liner caught by the third baseman, Rendon. Positioned right in the 5-6 hole. Rendon catches it head high, and there are 2 outs.
That was some really good contact from Will Wagner. That's a tough break. Rendon in the right spot. Normally there's a hole there on the left side of the infield between the shortstop and the third baseman.
Wagner set down. Here's the Blue Jays shortstop today, Ernie Clement, with 2 outs. First pitch strike, 0-1. Clement hitting in the 270s, 17 doubles and 10 home runs. 42 RBIs on the season also. 0-1 pitch. Low, 1 ball, 1 strike. In almost 140 games before this season, Ernie Clement had 4 career home runs. 1-1. Swing and a bouncer behind him, foul, 1-2. Clement takes a quick walk. Very good defender. 1-2. Again, bounced foul.
Is he an average defender or an above average defender? I feel like he's very smooth over there at third base.
I mean, if you...
Is he an average defender or an above average defender? I feel like he's very smooth over there at third base.
I mean, if you just want to look at the numbers, he has the highest defensive run saved at third base in the American League, which might surprise some people. 1-2. Swing and a soft roller to short. Backhanded by Neto. Long throw to first, but it beats Clement. And ends the inning. 6 up, 6 down for Jack Kahanowitz. And the Angels holding a 4-0 lead after 2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey, Blue Jays fans, are you ready to hit a home run with your next roof? Introducing GAF Timberline HDZ shingles, designed to keep your roof looking and feeling like a winner, rain or shine. GAF is proud to be the official shingle of the Toronto Blue Jays. Visit homedepot.ca and search GAF to learn more about how GAF Timberline HDZ roofing shingles can elevate your home to the next level. GAF, we protect what matters most.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Francis kicks and delivers. Called strike 3, 95.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The third inning is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Saint-Jérôme and Saint-Eustache, Quebec. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com. Canada's #1 rust protection. Chris Bassitt's first pitch of the inning is lined to right field by Nolan Shawnuel. Down the line for a base hit. Shawnuel stumbles around first, headed to second. Throw coming in, and Barola guns him down for the first out of the inning. Tag applied by Clement, the shortstop, and there's 1 out.
Well, I don't know what Shawnuel was doing. He started to speed up as he was rounding first base as Stuart Baroa was fielding that baseball. He really had no chance at a double there, especially with nobody out. Just take the base, stay at first base. Stuart Baroa with the perfect throw for out number 1.
Bassitt certainly will take that. Would like a quick inning after throwing over 30 in the second and giving up 4 runs. It's 4-0 Angels. Pitch to Kevin Pillar. This is down and away, ball 1. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman. He's Chris LaRue. Second of 4 games between the Blue Jays and the Angels. 1-0. Pillar hits it foul off to the right. Blue Jays fans are used to seeing Kevin Pillar starting in center field like he is today for the Angels. Made 579 starts in center as a Blue Jay. 1-1 pitch is hit to center field. Varsho backing up, occupying Pillar's old home, makes the catch in front of the track. 2 outs.
Little slider right there from Chris Bassitt. Kevin Pillar was way out in front of it. If he stayed back on that thing, I'm sure he would have hit that thing 425 feet. It was a little hanger, but it's a little bit out in front for an easy grab.
So 2 quick outs for Bassitt. He's only thrown 4 pitches so far in this inning. His 5th pitch of the 3rd goes to Anthony Rendon. Miss outside, ball 1. Rendon started the scoring last inning with his 8th double of the season to drive in his 9th RBI. Stole the base and scored himself. 1-0. Called strike. Rendon in the 5th year of his 7-year, $245 million contract. Ticks outside, 2-1.
And for those that don't remember, he was very good in Washington before coming over to Anaheim.
2-1 pitch. High and outside, 3-1. Specifically in the playoffs in 2019, he batted well over 300 in those playoffs and hit 3 home runs, including home runs in Game 6 and Game 7 of the World Series. 3-1 pitch, high and outside, ball 4. That was when Washington was trailing Houston 3-2 in the series. Rendon homered late in both of those games and ended up really being the leader, probably, at least on the offensive side, of Washington winning that World Series.
Yeah, and the Angels thought they were getting a stud. I mean, he's always a stud, but he's struggled mightily with injuries over the last few years.
He's on first, 2 outs. The pitch to Logan O'Hoppe. Buckles him for strike 1 with the slow breaking ball. But the Angels kind of got to this point where after the season they had 2 notable free agents, Steven Strasburg and Anthony Rendon. 0-1. Down and away to O'Hoppe. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tough decision to make if you're Mike Rizzo. You have the World Series MVP in Strasburg, and you have your best offensive player in the series in Rendon. They gave Strasburg a 7-year, $245 million contract, and the Angels matched that 2 days later, giving the same deal to Rendon. Swing and a miss by O'Hoppe. It's 1-2.
Well, neither one of those guys has really performed up to the contract, that's for sure.
Tough one to live up to. Injury marred for both of them since. 1-2 pitch. O'Hoppe checks his swing. It's called strike 3. A fastball on the outside edge to end the top of the 3rd. A hit and a walk. 1 left for the Angels, but no runs in the top of the 3rd. Halos still up 4-0. The Blue Jays will go and bat next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The eyes of the tennis world shift to the Big Apple, and former Grand Slam champion Tracy Austin and Dan Grasso preview the 144th edition of the U.S. Open.
Novak Djokovic wins the U.S. Open. The greatest gets greater.
From Novak Djokovic continuing his rivalry with phenom Carlos Alcaraz to Coco Gauff's title defense.
Coco Gauff is the United States Open champion.
Hear the U.S. Open preview show right now on the all-new Sirius XM app. Just search U.S. Open.
Be the most informed player in your fantasy football league by listening to the experts on Fantasy Sports Radio.
I want to thank you guys for making me a better fantasy player.
Hear player rankings, position breakdowns, and expert drafts.
There is no bigger value today than Dak Prescott.
Going deep down the right side, got a man, caught, touchdown Cowboys.
The road to a fantasy football championship begins with Fantasy Sports Radio. Channel 87 in the car and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
This is Dave LaGreca, creator of the biggest pro wrestling show on the planet, Busted Open. Don't miss myself and my Hall of Fame cast and crew as we break down every story in and out of the ring and talk to the top names in the business, like the legend himself, The Undertaker.
I'm actually glad to be on a real show.
Catch Busted Open live every day from 9 to noon Eastern on SiriusXM Fight Nation, channel 156, and on the SiriusXM app.
Hey everyone, it's Justin Turbin, your 24/7 home for hoops all year long is SiriusXM NBA Radio Channel 86 and the SiriusXM app. Just search NBA Radio.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the third inning in downtown Toronto, 4-0 Angels over Blue Jays. Joey Loperfido leading off, and the first pitch from Jack Kahanowitz is in there, strike one. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Loperfido hitting .230 now in 54 games in between Houston and Toronto with 3 home runs. 0-1. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Loperfido, then Barger, then Baroa for the Blue Jays. 2 lefties and a switch hitter against the righty starter Kahanowitz. 1-1. Swing and a hard liner foul into the netting, 1-2. In the minors this year, lefties hitting almost .300 against Kahanowitz. 1-2. Swing and a high fly ball, shallow center field. Pilar racing in. Going out is the shortstop Neto, who makes a tough over-the-shoulder catch in shallow center for the first out.
Yeah, that's one of those scary plays. Neto going out hard. Kevin Pilar was coming in hard. It was kind of that in-between pop-up, and Neto, I don't even think he called off Pilar. I think he just reached back and tried to catch that baseball, but that's a scary play out there, especially when those two guys are converging on each other.
Angels make the play, though, and Kahanowitz now will pitch to Addison Barger. First pitch strike, 0-1. Barger hitting in the high 160s. This is his 40th career Major League game. 3 homers, 16 RBIs. Right on left, the 0-1. Swing and a hot shot. Slide at short by Neto, but it's off his glove and into left center field. Single for Barger is the first Blue Jays hit and base runner of the day.
And Barger's starting to use the whole field. That's what I like about the growth of Addison Barger. He took that fastball, that sinker at 96 on the outside part, and he just drilled it the other way for a base hit. Kevin Pilar did a good job cutting that thing off and keeping Addison Barger at first base.
Yeah, Barger was running hard. I don't think Neto even has a play if he picks it up, and if Pilar didn't get it, it's probably a double. Here's Stuart Baroa with 1 out and 1 on. The pitch. Low ball 1.
And I don't think you have to say that Addison Barger was running hard. He always runs hard.
That is true. Barger takes his lead off first, held on by Nolan Shawnuel. 1-0. Called strike. Let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Devilishly good since Toronto first raised the trophy in '92. Rib Sanity is now on until September 8th. All you can eat ribs for just $27.99. Visit stlouiswings.com for more details. Always devilishly good. 1-1. Baroa takes outside. 2 balls and a strike. Baltimore Orioles hosting the Houston Astros, and Houston on the verge of a 10th straight victory. Astros up 4-2 right now on Baltimore in the third. The pitch from Kahanowitz, swing and a miss by Baroa, 2-2. Astros got to Corbin Burns yesterday. Today they've put 4 up on Cade Povich in 3 innings. Jose Altuve with a 2-run homer, Jeremy Pena and Jake Myers with RBI base hits as well. Out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. 2-2 to Baroa. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him on the sinking fastball, and there are 2 down.
And that thing started right down the middle at 95 and then just dove under the bat of Stuart Baroa. I'm really impressed with that fastball.
4-0 Halos, 2 outs, bottom of the third. Addison Barger on first, and George Springer up to the plate. The pitch. Down and away, ball 1. Acres of space on the right side of the infield. Brandon Drury, the second baseman, playing up the middle. 1-0. Swing and a chopper over the mound, and to Drury, the second baseman, who flips it over to first to get Springer and end the inning. No runs on a hit, one left for the Blue Jays, 4-0 Angels as we go to the fourth. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This is John Paul Morosi. Coming up on the next episode of The Road to Cooperstown, I sit down with Hall of Famer Jim Thome.
7th game of the World Series. That's what every kid dreams of. It's heartbreaking when you don't win. Every player, I think, would feel that.
The Road to Cooperstown airs Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89, and the all-new SiriusXM app. New episodes drop every Tuesday wherever you get your podcast.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike three and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio, every night on SiriusXM Channel 89, and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
Our goal is to win the Super Bowl. That's it for us.
Hear every stop of the 2024 training camp tour on NFL Radio Channel 88, the all-new SiriusXM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the fourth inning in Toronto, 4-0. The Angels lead the Blue Jays. Chris Bassitt back on the mound. The wind-in pitch to Nico Cavanis, and he misses inside, 1-0. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left is Chris LaRue. Chris Bassitt faced 4 batters in a scoreless third inning. Now the 1-0 to Cavanis in the fourth. Called strike. Fourth inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Right on left, here's the next pitch. In there again, 1-2. Cavanis with a walk, a stolen base, and a run scored in the Angels' 4-run second inning. Third walk of his major league career. He's in his 6th game. 1-2. Swing and a foul off to the left. Mentioned the power of Cavanis last time he was up. Has 20 homers in his pro season now. 1 in the majors, 19 in the minors. 22 last year. 1-2. High, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 26 the year before that. And in his final season at Notre Dame, he hit 22 homers in 47 games and established a new Fighting Irish single-season record. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Gets him with the elevated sinker, 1 out.
Yeah, there's that sinker that he's thrown so often this season, starting it in off the plate, and then it breaks back over the middle. Cavanis with an awkward swing there, kind of tied him up. That's a great pitch, 93 miles an hour.
So 1 out here in the top of the fourth, 5th strikeout of the day for Chris Bassitt, and Brandon Drury up to the plate. First pitch, outside, ball 1. Drury struck out looking on a curveball in the second, 0 for 1 today. The wind of the pitch. Called strike, 1-1. Drury's about as well-traveled as it gets in Major League Baseball. Diamondbacks, Yankees, Blue Jays. 1-1 pitch inside, 2-1. Mets, Reds, Padres, Angels. He has been all over Bassitt with a breath. And now the 2-1. Check swing, called strike, 2-2.
And he actually had a really good year last year with the Angels. 262, 26 homers, 83 RBIs. Makes you wonder what is happening this season.
His 83 RBIs were second to only Shohei Ohtani on the Angels last year. Of course, Mike Trout hurt. 2-2. And the curveball misses way up and in. Drury fell down backwards out of the way. It's now a full count.
Yeah, that thing actually started at the head of Drury and broke back, not over the plate, but just off the plate inside. But Drury fell back, anticipating getting hit by that pitch there.
A Blue Jay from 2018 to 2020, 3-2. Swing and a pop-up, middle of the infield. Bassitt backing up, but he's going to be called off by the shortstop, Clement, who makes the catch. 2 down.
Well, Bassitt, as he always does, stays in the mix. Most pitchers will look at that baseball and want no part of it. They'll get out of the way. Bassitt staying on the mound. I'm scared of the baseball. Bassitt is not scared of the baseball.
Well, he's had a lot of time with the baseball. Chris Bassitt now pitching in his 10th Major League season. His pitch to Joe Adell is hit on the ground sharply to short. Diving stop, Clement pops up, throws to first on a hop. It's picked by Horwitz to end the inning. Highlight reel from Ernie Clement in a 1-2-3 top of the 4th from Chris Bassitt. Still 4-0 Angels as we go to the bottom half of the inning. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
So, you want to be a Looney Dogger, eh? Every Tuesday Blue Jays home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. Grab $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around Rogers Center. Plus, stop by the Schneider's Porch, your hot dog headquarters. The destination for a one-of-a-kind hot dog experience with excellent ballpark views. So, whether you're the relish ringleader or 7th-inning snacker, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. Don't miss out on this delicious deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop.
Cheers, Insiders. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight for this Blue Jays game. Don't forget, on Saturday, we've got the Bills' final preseason matchup up against the Carolina Panthers in Buffalo. How will the Bills fare? Will they end the preseason with a winning record, or will it be a losing record? Only time will tell. We'll see you guys in the chat on Saturday afternoon. Please make sure you stop by, hit that like button, chat it up, and learn about the Bills getting ready for their first regular season game on September 8th. That one's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see you guys back in the chat. Let's go Blue Jays, and let's go Bills.
Ben Shulman alongside Chris LaRue. Dalton Varsho leads off for Toronto. First pitch strike thrown by Jack Kahanowitz, who gets ahead with a 96-mile-an-hour sinker. Six, 7 righties set at the belt. And the 0-1. Way outside. Pretty cool before today's game. Ceremonial first pitch was thrown out by Canadian Olympian Summer McIntosh. Threw out the pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who's getting a rest today. 1-1 pitch is laced by Varsho through the whole right side into right field for a base hit. 21 games in a row now, Dalton Varsho has been on base.
Yeah, that's a pretty good swing through the hole on the right side. That was just a hanging sinker over the middle of the plate, and he drilled it through that right side. He's been so good recently, taking better pitches, making better swings.
For the Blue Jays, their second base runner of the game. Here's Spencer Horwitz, number 3 hitter in the lineup tonight with Guerrero on the bench. Kahanowitz's pitch. Called strike at the top of the zone, 0-1.
And you mentioned Summer McIntosh. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. caught that first pitch, and my mom texted me and said, "Why didn't Vlad get her signature on the baseball?"
Very possibly did.
Maybe.
Very possibly did. As Horwitz drives the 0-1 pitch to deep left field, backing up Ward, crashes into the wall, and the ball pops out of his glove. Varsho up to third, Horwitz safe at second. It'll go down as a double. Ward was all over that, but right as he went to make the catch, he rammed into the padding, and the Blue Jays will take their first extra base hit of the game.
Yeah, it looked like he had a beat on it. I thought Taylor Ward was going to come down with that baseball, but Spencer Horwitz with such a good swing, a sinker over the middle of the plate, just drilled that thing off the wall in left field.
For Horwitz, it's his 14th double of the season, and it's second and third for the Blue Jays here. A single can cut the 4-0 deficit in half. Alejandro Kirk steps up to the plate. Kahanowitz from the stretch. Kirk takes up top. Ball one. Just threw him the curveball upstairs, which is the secondary pitch from Kahanowitz, although we've hardly seen it today. That was the third curveball he's thrown all game. 1-0. Swing and a chopper to third. Rendon charging, coming to the plate, Varsho, and Rendon will throw over to first for the out. Horwitz had to stay at second, but Varsho scores. It's an RBI ground out for Kirk, and the Blue Jays are on the board. Now 4-1 for the Angels.
And you can kind of see why he shies away from that curveball. It's more of a cutter, slider, curveball kind of hybrid pitch. Not really effective. Throws it 28% of the time, but it's just not a pitch. That's probably why his strikeout totals are so low. I tell you what, that fastball, though, is pretty incredible.
One out, runner on second. Here's Will Wagner. Kahanowitz with two looks at second and the pitch home. Strike one. Went back to the curveball. Yeah, just not a lot of movement on that curveball. Batters are actually not hitting for a great average against it, around 200, but a lot of power against the curve. 0-1. Swing and a foul ball back behind the plate into the seats. 0-2. Wagner battled Kahanowitz in the second inning, saw almost 10 pitches before lining out hard to third. 0-2. Swing and a high hopper to first base, picked up by Shonowell. He'll step on the bag for the out. Horwitz advances to third, and now there are two down.
He should just stick to that fastball. That last fastball, 96 miles an hour. He's getting a lot of awkward contact, weak contact, awkward swings, and that Will Wagner one right there is no different.
Just feels tough to be a starter with one pitch.
No, you can't. He'll need a changeup. He'll need a split finger. He'll need something. You can't survive in the big leagues with just one pitch.
Runner on third, two down. The pitch to Ernie Clement. Strike one. And of course, he doesn't literally have one pitch. No. He does throw that curve. He throws a change every once in a while and a four-seamer rarely. But he's, like you had mentioned earlier, he's living off that sinker. That's what he uses to get everyone out. Runner on third, two down. The 0-1. Swinging a foul back, 0-2.
And I almost wonder if they move him to the bullpen, will that fastball gain some velo? Will it be 98-99 instead of 95-97? Because it's still a plus fastball right now.
And that is a mix that a reliever can work with. If you have one great pitch, you could pull that off as a reliever. 0-2, down and away with the curveball there. No offer from Ernie Clement. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I mean, look at Clay Holmes. Clay Holmes lives on that sinker, that 97-mile-an-hour sinker down in the zone. He's made a lot of money off that pitch.
Mariano Rivera essentially threw a cutter his whole career. 1-2. Swing and a bouncing ball right side into right field for a hit. Horwitz jogs home. Clement around first. He comes through again. It's an RBI single. And now it's 4-2 for the Angels over the Blue Jays.
Should I say it? In Ernie, we trust. Finds that hole. Brandon Drury was shaded towards second base. He could see that hole. There was a big hole on the right side of the infield, and Ernie Clement just kind of massages that ball through the hole. He's such a good hitter. He's turning into something special.
Clement leading off first now. Joey Loperfido at the plate. 4-2 Angels, 2 outs, bottom of the fourth. Right on left pitch. Swing and a bouncer over the mound to second. Tough play. Drury gloves, throws to first, and beats Lo Perfido by a step to end the inning. Blue Jays, though, get 2 on 3 hits. Horwitz sets it up with the double to put 2 in scoring position, and then an RBI ground out from Kirk and an RBI single from Clement. Make it 4-2 at the end of 4. Angels still on top. They'll bat next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey, it's Andy Richter, here to tell you about the Andy Richter Call-In Show. Each week, I'll be inviting callers to weigh in on important questions like, have you ever seen a ghost? What's the worst job you've ever had? What's the worst date you've ever been on? Along the way, I'll be joined by my favorite comedians and friends. Check out the Andy Richter Call-In Show. New episodes each Wednesday at 4 p.m. East and West, with replays throughout the week on Conan O'Brien Radio. The show will also be available on demand in the SiriusXM app whenever you want. Just search Andy Richter.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball. You love yelling at your buddies about baseball because they love baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, and much, much, much more. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
The most important person in sports is you, the fan.
Let me tell you something. I'm a real fan.
And your place for sports talk is Mad Dog Sports Radio, where your voice is heard all day long.
I couldn't wait to get into the truck, turn on 82.
Share the thrill of victory.
The joy, the jubilation. I can't stop smiling.
And the agony of defeat.
When is this franchise going to realize people really care about this?
Passionate sports fans call 888-MAD-DOG-6.
You gotta love sports.
Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82, or anytime on the SiriusXM app.
Hey everyone, it's Justin Turbin, your 24/7 home for hoops all year long is SiriusXM NBA Radio Channel 86 and the SiriusXM app. Just search NBA Radio.
Radio Network.
Chris Bassitt deals outside to Taylor Ward, and we're underway in the top of the 5th inning at Rogers Center. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Angels 4, Blue Jays 2. Toronto just got on the board. Chris Bassitt back out on the mound, winds and delivers the 1-0. Ward hits it foul off to the right.
And Chris Bassitt's job now that the Blue Jays are back in this ball game, throw strikes, throw a lot of strikes. Let the Angels put the bat on the ball, see what they can do with it.
Angels scored 4 in the second inning. A lot of that fueled by 2 walks and a hit batter. 1-1. Low ball 2. Bassitt on the first base side of the rubber. Looking down, going to his right hip to the pitch call. Right-hander steps to the left, kicks, and releases. Swinging a chopper to third. Charging in, Barger fields it on 1 bounce, throws on the run to first, 1 out.
The 5th inning is brought to you by Desjardins Financial Group. Desjardins awarded another 150 grants worth $20,000 each to entrepreneurs across Canada. See how Desjardins cheered on small biz at goodsparkgrants.ca.
1 out now in the top of the 5th inning. Top of the order still for the Angels. Ward, the number 1 hitter in the lineup, retired. Here's number 2, the shortstop, Zach Neto. Barger playing in at third, watching a bunt. Right on right. Here comes the pitch from Chris Bassitt. Outside, ball 1. Sun is setting in downtown Toronto. Sky getting a little bit darker. You can still see a little bit of the brightness beyond the left field corner, turning into a dark blue overhead. 1-0. Down and away, 2-0.
There were some people doing the skywalk on the top of the CN Tower today, and there were a bunch of Angels players taking videos and photos of it.
Would you do that?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, me too.
Never.
Not a chance.
Ever.
No chance. 2-0. Swing and a bouncer, foul left side, 2-1.
And they were probably thinking the same thing, those Angels players down there.
I mean, I'll much sooner Photoshop myself up there than think about actually going up there.
There's some pretty good Photoshop nowadays. I'm sure it would look realistic.
I mean, I could probably type it into some sort of AI thing and just get a picture of it if I needed to. 2-1. Called strike with the cutter, 2-2. Have you been on the glass floor up there?
Nope.
That's a little more in my wheelhouse.
I have no desire to do that either.
Well, the glass floor is You're not outside.
No.
2-2. Swing and a foul ball off to the left.
And I'm pretty sure nobody has ever had issues with the glass floor or the skywalk. So it's not like there's a ton of risk. I just don't feel the need to do that.
That's right.
I'd rather.
Which one would you do first? It's got to be glass floor.
Am I getting any money for this?
No. You just have to do one.
I mean, there's no way I'm doing the skywalk.
2-2 pitch is hit high in the air, left center field. Varsho back, so is Loperfido. It's Joey Loperfido's ball, and he makes a two-handed catch for the second out.
Another pretty good cutter from Chris Bassitt. That one at the top of the zone. Neto getting underneath it for out number 2.
Bassitt getting the first 2 of this 5th inning. Still 4-2 for the Angels over the Blue Jays. Nolan Shonowell about to come up. Left-handed hitter taps the plate twice. Brings the bat above his head, looking out at Bassitt. A nod from the righty for the Blue Jays. And now the 1. First pitch on the way. Strike 1. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, your old teammate Chris, Giancarlo Stanton, with his 22nd home run of the season. A solo shot in the 4th has given the Yankees a 1-0 lead over the Colorado Rockies. 0-1. Shonowell hits it in the air, deep left field. Going back, Loperfido heading into the corner, leaps and makes the catch. Very nice from Joey Loperfido, a smile on his face, and a high five from Dalton Varsho. Takes extra bases away from Shonowell and ends the top of the 5th. All of our out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. In Toronto, the score is Angels 4, Blue Jays 2, middle of 5. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's Fantasy Football Draft Month on Fantasy Sports Radio. Hear how the experts draft their teams and learn winning strategies to help you win your league.
I don't think it's crazy to take CeeDee Lamb with the first overall pick.
Don't miss our host draft right now on the all-new Sirius XM app as your favorite hosts draft against each other.
Feeling good here about Jared Goff as a mid-range QB2.
Channel 87. And if you missed any of our drafts, hear them anytime on the all-new Sirius XM app. Just search Fantasy Drafts.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Saturday,
6:30 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Coke Zero Sugar 400 from Daytona International Speedway on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yes!
If you love golf, then you should never turn off SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio. Our hosts have the best takes.
Tiger's impact on the game of golf, aside from how good he was at it, was something that I don't think we'll ever see again.
Talk to the biggest guests.
Scotty, you've had a year to celebrate.
This year, I've just seen a lot of good results.
And can even help you with your own game.
Take the club and at address, open it up.
It's all golf, all the time. On SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio, Channel 92 in the car, and on the SiriusXM app.
Our goal is to win the Super Bowl. That's it for us.
Hear every stop of the 2024 training camp tour on NFL Radio Channel 88, the all-new Sirius XM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Rogers Center, home half of the 5th. Addison Barger takes strike 1 from Jack Kohanowitz. It's Angels 4, Blue Jays 2 in Toronto. 0-1. Chopped over the mound, third base side, picked up head high by Rendon. Quick transfer and throw to first, and he gets Barger, who loses his helmet running down the line. 1 out.
Anthony Rendon had to be quick with that transfer. Addison Barger was barreling down that first baseline, barely out at first base. Pretty nice play from Anthony Rendon.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman. He's Chris LaRue. Roger Lajoie, our in-game host. Nick Blackmore, our producer. Andrew Adams and Tom Young, our technical directors. 1 out, Stuart Burrow, the switch hitter, bats left. Kohanowitz's pitch. Burrow shows bunt, pulls it back, takes a strike. 0-1.
Stuart Burrow is very active in the box, isn't he?
I think he's just active all the time. He's always moving around, smiling. 0-1. Fouled it off of himself, 0-2.
That was the rare fouling it off your back leg. Doesn't happen very often.
I think either his bat or the ball also clipped the catcher, Logan O'Hoppe. But everyone involved in that seems to be all right. For Berroa, his first start since August 12th in Anaheim against the Angels, a game he walked 3 times in. 0-2. Down and away, ball 1.
And there was the changeup. Pretty good pitch. I mean, maybe he's just not comfortable throwing it. It is a field pitch, but that was a pretty good pitch.
1-2. Missed up top with a fastball. O'Hoppe got out of the crouch to snare it. 4-2 Halos. Bases empty. 1 out, bottom of the 5th. And time asked for by Berroa. It's granted at the plate by Ryan Additon.
I keep wanting to call Ryan Additon Nick Additon because I played with his brother.
Yeah.
Nick. It's really strange.
Two. Swing and a ground ball over the mound. Skips over the second base bag. Neto, the shortstop, picks it up and whips it over to first. 2 down.
This injury report is brought to you by Bergmanis Pereira Personal Injury Lawyers. If life has thrown you a curveball and you're striking out with your insurance company, get ahead of the count and call Bergmanis Pereira Personal Injury Lawyers. You focus on getting better, and Bergmanis Pereira will take care of the rest. Visit bplawyers.ca.
George Springer up to the plate. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. 4-2 Angels over Blue Jays. No Blue Jays injury updates today. First pitch to Springer, swing and a miss, strike 1. The only even close to injury news is that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is not in the lineup today, not for an injury. It's just a rest day for Guerrero, who's played a lot in a row, John Schneider said, and moved around to third base a little bit too. 0-1 to the DH Springer. Popped him up. Middle of the diamond. Shortstop Neto making the call, called off by the second baseman Drury, and the veteran brings it in to end the inning. 1-2-3-4. Kahanowitz, a good bounce back after the 2-run fourth. And at the end of 5, still 4-2 Los Angeles. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care. I am by your side. Got a heart so big, on this you can rely. No mountains too tall for the strong boots to climb. I am by your side.
That was Desjardins Insurance, playing insurance with a heart so big it shows. Tune in for your auto and home coverage at desjardins.com/heart.
I give you the world, but there's other planets too.
Hola, soy Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Está escuchando a Toronto Blue Jays Baseball en la radio de Sportsnet.
Kevin Pillar steps up to the batter's box as we get set for the top of the 6th inning in Toronto. Angels have the middle of the order up. Pillar, Rendon, O'Hoppe. Los Angeles holding a 4-2 lead. Chris Bassitt winds and delivers. First pitch breaking ball hit on the ground to short. Picked up by Clement. Throw over to first in time. 1 out. The 6th inning is brought to you by Desjardins Financial Group. Desjardins is a big fan of small biz. That's why they awarded another $3 million to small business owners across the country. See how Desjardins cheered on small biz this year at goodsparkgrants.ca. Quick out for Bassitt, who's now on 88 pitches. He delivers here to Anthony Rendon. Fastball, strike one.
And because of that high pitch count, he just threw his 89th pitch of the ball game. Genesis Cabrera is now loosening up down there in that Blue Jays bullpen.
0-1. Fastball off the plate outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. If you eliminate the second, he's actually been very pitch efficient today, Chris Bassitt, but threw over 30 pitches in that second inning, and it cost him. Next pitch to Rendon, hit foul. Third baseman down to a knee, trying to get to that curveball, 1-2.
And he actually almost had the same box score against Oakland. Obviously, he's thrown more innings this time, but he gave up 6 runs in the first inning and then was outstanding after that first inning. It's kind of the same in this outing. He was very erratic with all of his pitches in that second inning, and then other than that, he's been pretty good.
His 1-2. Called strike 3. Gets him on a top of the zone four-seamer. Rendon walking back to the dugout, retired for the first time today, and there are 2 outs.
Rendon didn't like that call, but that caught the top of the strike zone. Chris Bassitt is locked in right now. He has found another gear, and again, a good frame job from Alejandro Kirk, making that pitch look a little bit better than it was.
So 2 outs and the bases empty. Logan O'Hoppe up in the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, interesting game between the Reds and Pirates today. Reds were up 5-0 after 4 innings. It's 5-5 now in the 6th. 0-1 pitch, bounce to the plate, check swing, appeal to first, no swing, 1-1. Reds were up 5-0, and then Pittsburgh put up a 4-run 5th, capped off by an RBI groundout off the bat of Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. In the 6th inning, Joey Bart singled in a run to tie the game at 5. 1-1. Swing and a fly ball down the right field line, slicing foul into the seats. It's 1-2. All of our out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Bassitt on 95 pitches, trying to grind his way through a 6th inning of work. He struck out 6 so far today. He winds and delivers. Check swing. O'Hoppe held up on the breaking ball, down and away. Bassitt onto the first base side of the rubber. Steps to the left. Kicks. Delivers home. And missed up top with a fastball. I think he hit his spot, but just couldn't get O'Hoppe to chase. Full count.
Yeah, I like that pitch right there. I wouldn't actually mind going back to it. I don't think he will, but they tried to get O'Hoppe to swing through that elevated heater.
He has struck out O'Hoppe both times he's faced him today. 3-2. Swing and a hard line drive right center field. On the run, Baroa runs it down and makes the catch shoulder high to end the inning. Bassitt retires 10 in a row, and it's another scoreless frame, giving the Blue Jays a chance to get back into this one. Down 4-2 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The music.
The history.
The legend.
The Beatles.
It's a good message. It's love. It's peace. And I think that's what everybody wants.
The Beatles channel.
Peace and love to you all.
Hello, it's Paul McCartney, and you are listening to me.
The Beatles channel.
The coolest channel in the world.
On Channel 18, or listen anytime and anywhere on the SiriusXM app.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
Wake up! Wake up, everybody!
This is Steve Phillips from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and former Major League Baseball players Eduardo Perez and Xavier Scruggs as we react to all the latest news and scores across baseball and have plenty of fun along the way.
Steve, you were so right about that.
I don't know if anybody else thinks we're funny, but I think we're funny.
Why are you putting us or we into this?
The leadoff spot, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Fantasy football players, learn winning strategies right now on Fantasy Sports Radio to help you draft a winning team on Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
Radio Network.
Bottom of the 6th inning in downtown Toronto. 4-2. The Angels leading the Blue Jays. Dalton Varsho leading off. And the first pitch from Jack Kahanowitz is ripped into left center field. A second base hit of the day for Varsho, who takes a hard turn around first. But Kevin Pillar gets it back into the infield quickly. So it'll be a leadoff single.
Yeah, Dalton Varsho hit that ball right where the shortstop would normally play. But Zach Neto is playing up the middle. Fortunately for Dalton Varsho, leading off this inning with a hard base hit.
The good month of August just keeps going for Varsho. He started the Blue Jays 2-run inning in the 4th with a single. They'd love another one of those, down 4-2. Here's Spencer Horwitz, who doubled back in that 4th inning. The pitch. Swinging a high bouncer headed to first. It's off the chest of Shonowell, who flips to the pitcher, and he's not on the bag. Horwitz is safe at first. Safe at second is Varsho. Kahanowitz started to cover first, but the second baseman Drury went over there, and Kahanowitz was standing in between the first baseman and the second baseman and almost cut off the 7 or 8 foot throw, never giving the Angels a chance.
Yeah, I don't know if he would have been safe or not had Kahanowitz not caught that baseball, but what an awkward play. He was, like you said, about 5 feet from the bag. Brandon Drury was on first base waiting for that throw, and it just never got to him.
And should note, there's going to be an error on Shonowell on that play. It is not necessarily all or even mostly on Kahanowitz, as that ground ball hit Shonowell right in the chest. So first and second for the Blue Jays, nobody out. 4-2 Angels lead. Bottom of the 6th, then Alejandro Kirk up. Kahanowitz with a long stare at second base and the pitch. Inside, ball 1.
And even if John Schneider decided to have Alejandro Kirk bunt here, which I don't think he should do or would do, it is really tough to get this bunt down on a pitcher that throws 97 with a ton of movement. Almost impossible, actually.
1-0. Foul tip, 1-1. Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. He's Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Schulman. Action right now in the bullpen for the Angels. Hunter Strickland, the veteran, is loosening up right now. Kahanowitz only in the mid-60s in terms of pitch count, but dealing with trouble here in the 6th. 6'7" righty, staring at Varsho again, the 1-1. Kirk hits it on the ground through the whole left side into left field. Carlos Fablis is giving Varsho the wave, and he'll score without a throw. It's a 1-run game on the RBI single by Alejandro Kirk.
And that was just a spinning curveball. We talked about his curveball earlier on in the game, and that thing is just spinning right over the middle. Alejandro Kirk drills it through the hole on the ground for an RBI, and now the Blue Jays are down by 1 here in the 6th inning, but like we talked about earlier, he's going to have to figure out the off-speed stuff if he's going to be a big league starter for sure.
Kahanowitz surrendering a 3rd run. 1st and 2nd still for the Blue Jays as Horwitz stopped at second base. Kirk's on first, and the corners move in. Will Wagner is up. Angels thinking bunt now as the pitch goes to Wagner, and he takes outside, ball 1.
And you do have Ernie Clement up next, so this is a better opportunity for the Blue Jays to move the runners over to 2nd and 3rd. I still don't think they'll do it, but that's just my thoughts.
Next pitch to Wagner, awkward swing and a miss, 1-1.
And it's easier for a left-handed batter to sack bunt with that sink of a right-handed pitcher because you kind of move with it, bend your knees, and follow the baseball. A lot harder for a righty.
1-1 to Wagner. Bounces it to second base. Backhanded there by Drury. Flips to second for 1. Neto to first just in time. There was a bit of a bobble by Neto, but he makes the throw over there. Wagner bounces out into a 4-6-3 double play. Horwitz up to third, now 2 outs.
And that's why you sack bunt in that situation. I'm not saying that John Schneider was wrong in that situation to not sack bunt, but that's why you sack bunt. So you move the runners over, you don't ground into a double play, and now you just have 1 out in this inning instead of 2.
Ernie Clement up with 2 outs. He did hit a 2-out RBI single in the 4th. He'll take the first pitch on the outside corner for strike 1 here in the 6th. Angels 4, Blue Jays 3. Spencer Horwitz on third base. Infield plays back with 2 outs, shifted to pull. 0-1 is bounced to third, picked up there by Rendon. A shuffle and a throw over to first in time ends the inning. 2 hits and an error, 1 run for the Blue Jays, 1 left on base, and it's a 1-run ball game as we go to the 7th. 4-3, the Angels lead at Rogers Center. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
We're 2menintruck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved.
Think 2menintruck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2menintruck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2menintruck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's building center. Visit timbermart.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He delivers a 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The Blue Jays invite you to work from Dome on Wednesday, September 4th as they take on the Phillies at 3:07 p.m. Eastern. Enjoy an afternoon of baseball while networking, playing games, and capturing themed photos. Visit BlueJays.com/workfromdome and get your tickets today. 7th inning in Toronto, the Blue Jays have inched closer with a run in the bottom of the 6th. It's now Angels 4, Blue Jays 3. New pitcher for Toronto is the right-hander Eric Swanson, in to face the bottom third of the Angel order. He starts off right against left, dealing with the DH Nico Cavadas, the pitch. Swinging a foul back, 0-1. 30th appearance of the year for Swanson, ERA just below 7. Very good numbers since coming back to the Blue Jays until his last outing, his toughest since rejoining the team. 0-1. Called strike, 0-2.
Yeah, 3 hits, 2 walks, 3 runs. I think the most alarming thing in that outing were the walks. He was very erratic with almost all of his pitches, including that slider, which has been very good recently.
0-2. Cavadas hits it foul. Yeah, it was just a tough outing start to finish. Swanson came in with a lot of trouble already brewing in that inning. The Reds had knocked Yariel Rodriguez out and then knocked Brendan Little, the first reliever of that inning, out. 0-2 pitch again. This one off the plate outside. A ball and 2 strikes. Swanson came in with 2 runners on. He hit Ty France with a pitch. Then he walked in the go-ahead run. Santiago Espinal walked for an RBI. Got a strikeout to end that inning. 1-2 to Cavadas. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's the first out of the 7th. Swanson would come back out for a second inning in that appearance, immediately give up back-to-back homers, walk another, give up a double, and that was when the outing came to an end.
Well, already we're seeing much better command of the fastball, the split finger. Hasn't thrown the slider yet, but that last fastball was 95 miles an hour for the strikeout.
Gets Cavadas to start the inning. Here's Brandon Drury, the number 8 hitter, who's 0 for 2. Swanson's pitch. Drury takes a heater for strike 1.
There's an obvious difference in the stuff already between this outing and his last outing just 2 days ago.
0-1. Fastball just misses the top of the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. Right-hander starts on the first base side of the rubber, twists and deals. Swing and a chopper over the mound. Up the middle and into the glove of the shortstop, Ernie Clement, who throws on to first. 2 outs.
It's almost like the demeanor is a little bit different. It's almost like in his brain, he's now saying, I've had enough. I'm going back to who I was in 2022, 2023. Those last few fastballs have probably been his best fastballs of the season, or at least since he's come back.
Quick delay in play. The bat boy for the Angels didn't go out to get the bat. Joe Adell went to step up to the plate, and there was a bat lying over the plate.
Come on, man.
Now we're ready to go.
You have one job.
It's on. Everyone makes mistakes. 2 down, bases empty, top of the 7th. The pitch to Adell. Up and in, ball 1. By the way, the final line for Chris Bassitt: 6 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, a hit batter, and 6 strikeouts. That 4-run second really bit him in this one. 1-0 pitch, outside 2-0.
Yeah, and like I said, he looked completely different outside of that second inning. He looked great in the first, and then he looked great 3 through 6. That second inning, he just lost it for whatever reason.
Joe Adell really made him pay with the 2-run double. Adell now takes down and away, ball 3. It's a 3-0 count.
And how many times have we seen this year from Blue Jays pitching? You get 2 quick outs, you look great, and then you fall behind that third hitter 3-0.
Comes back with a fastball. Adell had the green light and swung at that heater over the middle of the plate, but missed it. 3-1.
I'd give him the green light too. 18 homers, 57 RBIs. Guy's got some pop.
And hitting well over 300 in the month of August. Really starting to round into form in his 5th Major League season. 3-1. Swing and a pop-up, foul behind the plate. That'll get out of play, full count.
Sorry, not 57, 59 RBIs. He had 2 RBIs in this game already.
Should have 2 hits. He has that double for 2 runs in the second. Hit a ground ball up the middle in the 4th, but Ernie Clement dove up the middle of the diamond and tossed it over to first for the out. Looked like there was a little bit of concern for a sec with Eric Swanson. John Schneider and Jose Ministral came out of the dugout for a moment. Ministral, the head athletic trainer, but Swanson waved them off. He's all right. 13 pitches into his first inning of work, trying to get through a 1-2-3 7th. Righty's payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him on the splitter below the zone. Swanson strikes out a pair and sends us to the 7th inning stretch. Only 1 run separates us in this game. Angels 4, Blue Jays 3 through 6.5. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? It's Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. On Junior J Sunday, so many things to do. You can bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays. Get to the ballpark early to enjoy outdoor activities before continuing the fun inside while you cheer on the Blue Jays.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
This is the best I've ever seen.
City TV has all the edge-of-your-seat performances you can handle.
This is the most amazing season we've ever had.
America's Got Talent is doubling down on excitement.
Wow. Incredible. I'm blown away.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Better than any other season.
On the hunt for this season's winner.
You didn't know what was going to happen next.
America's Got Talent. All new Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 8/7 Central on City TV. Or stream it on City TV Plus.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He dives, and he made the catch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Joey Loperfido steps in to start the bottom of the 7th inning. Blue Jays trailing by 1, 4-3. The Angels lead. First pitch from Jack Kahanowitz misses inside, 1-0. Angels starter back out for a 7th inning of work, just over 70 pitches so far for the righty. Rookie kicks and delivers, and it's a chopper down the first baseline, hit foul, just hooked wide of the bag, 1-1.
And I bet a lot of his major league starts will have that low pitch count just because he's a sinker guy. We've seen over the years, I mean, not so much anymore because you don't really see those hard-throwing sinker ballers, but those are the guys that go deep into ball games. Brandon Webb with that good sink, inducing a ton of double plays, a ton of ground balls. Kahanowitz no different.
1-1. Swing and a liner. Left center field. Base hit for Loperfido. He's around first, and he's going to head to second. Throw coming in. Cut off. And it'll be a double for Loperfido, who takes 90 extra feet right under the noses of the Angels.
And we were just talking about how athletic he is. That base hit was in front of him. He could see it the whole way. Kevin Pillar taking his time, uncharacteristically misjudging that baseball, actually. And then Loperfido taking the extra base. Nobody out in this inning. That's a big extra base for the Toronto Blue Jays.
And that's going to be the hit that ends the day for Jack Kahanowitz. Slow walk out to the mound for Ron Washington, the Angels Mariner. And he's going to take the ball from the rookie, it appears. Hasn't made the point yet. He's talking right now with Kahanowitz, and maybe he will stay in this game, as there still hasn't been a point to the bullpen as of yet. Hunter Strickland is ready to go, but Ron Washington is now going to make the point finally and take the baseball. Strickland coming into this ball game. Blue Jays have the tying run in scoring position with nobody out. It's 4-3 Angels with Loperfido on second in the bottom of the 7th. We'll be back with Hunter Strickland in a second, but first, let's go to baseball control. Here's today's host, Roger Lajoie.
Ben, Chris, thanks very much. Time for a look at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by, of course, St. Louis Bar and Grill. Busy Friday night, as always, in the majors. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. Pirates now lead the Reds 6-5 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Reds had a 5-0 lead in this game. Tyler Stevenson with a homer among the Cincinnati 5 runs. But Pittsburgh scores 4 in the 5th, 2 more in the 6th. And on a Dela Cruz sacrifice fly, they now lead 6-5 hitting in the bottom of the 7th inning. Houston Astros looking for a 10th straight victory, looking good and getting that in Baltimore so far tonight. Astros up in this one 5-2. Jose Altuve with a 2-run homer for Houston. Colton Cowser with his 19th for the Orioles. 5-2 Houston. Orioles still hitting in the bottom of the 6th. All rise. Aaron Judge with another homer in the bottom of the 6th at Yankee Stadium. His 49th of the season. Yankees lead Colorado 3-0. Now playing in the top of the 7th. Stanton with his 22nd homer as well for the Yankees. But Aaron Judge, number 49 tonight in the Bronx. Arizona leading Boston 5-1. They're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Same thing in Cleveland, where the Texas Rangers lead Cleveland 4-3. Bottom of the 6th in Miami, Cubs and Marlins are tied at 3. Pete Crow Armstrong with an inside the park home run, and Ian Happ with a 2-run homer for the Cubs in that one. Washington leading Atlanta 2-1. They're in the bottom of the 6th inning in Atlanta. Detroit up on the White Sox 2-1, playing in the top of the 3rd. In Chicago, of course, the Cubs have had very few wins so far this season. Philadelphia and Kansas City are tied 1-1 in the 3rd in Kansas City. And Minnesota leads St. Louis 1-0 after 2 innings in Minnesota. Blue Jays Baseball is brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Let's go back to Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Raj. Hunter Strickland is on. The righty reliever, a veteran in his 10th Major League season, makes his 57th appearance of the year, 3.5 ERA. He's got a tough job here. Keep the tying run from scoring. Joey Loperfido on second. Angels up 4-3, no outs. The pitch to Addison Barger. High ball 1. It's Jack Kohanowitz's day done after 6+. We're here in the bottom of the 7th. After the Angels took a 4-0 lead in the second, Blue Jays have scored the last 3. 1-0. Barger takes again. This time it's a strike on the outside edge. 1-1. Main pitch for Strickland is the mid-80s slider. Throws a mid-90s four-seamer. Will sink and cut his fastball sometimes and occasionally throw a change. 1-1, swing and a miss. Went back to the slider again, 3 straight, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, there was that slider, that good slider. Looks like a fastball darting right down the middle, and then it takes a hard left turn under the bat of Addison Barger.
At a minimum, Barger trying to pull something on the ground to get Loperfido to third. A look at second in the 1-2. Swing and a liner caught by the second baseman Drury. A dive back safe by Loperfido. And that's a little bit of tough luck for Barger, who hit that ball well. But Drury made a nice play running to his right.
Yeah, actually a pretty good play from Loperfido, going right back to the bag. He saw that line drive. He wasn't sure if it was going to get through or not, but that's good base running right there, getting back to the bag. Could have easily been doubled off, but still in scoring position with just 1 out.
So 2 more shots for the Blue Jays here to try to single in Loperfido. With his speed, he'll score on pretty much any single to the outfield. Stuart Baroa is up. He's 0 for 2. First pitch. Downstairs, ball 1. Hunter Strickland in this game, pitching for the 57th time this season after spending last year out of Major League Baseball. 1-0. Check swing, pitch was low. Appeal to third, he didn't go. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Strickland dealt with some injuries last year and pitched solely at AAA for Cincinnati. That's Louisville. Pitched only 12 times. 2-0. Inside, 3-0.
I like that you say it correctly.
Louisville?
Well, if you're not from Louisville, you usually say Louisville, right?
Yeah.
That's what a ton of people say, but that's not the correct way. You're a local.
They look at you weird in Louisville if you say Louisville. 3-0. Called strike 3-1. Four 4-3 Angels, 1 out, bottom of the 7th. Loperfido being held close to second by the shortstop Neto, playing just behind him, banging the glove with his hand. 3-1. Baroa takes in the dirt, ball 4. Patient at bat from Stuart Baroa, his 7th Major League walk, and he's on base here. So the Blue Jays now have both the tying and go-ahead runs on the base paths with the top of the order coming up.
Yeah, big at bat from Stuart Baroa. You get some speed on first base, you get some speed on second base. The Blue Jays are cooking right now. Like you said, top of the order, George Springer up at bat.
You probably don't do it because of the risk, but this is not a bad combo to think about a double steal with Loperfido and Baroa on. George Springer up to the plate is 0 for 3 today. Hunter Strickland kicks and fires, and the first pitch is popped up near the first baseman Shonwell. It's an infield fly, and Shonwell makes the catch anyway, 2 down.
And that was actually a hanging slider from Hunter Strickland. You could see just how upset George Springer is that he missed that pitch. A perfect pitch to do damage on, and he just got underneath it.
Two down, and Ron Washington going back out to the mound. Strickland has faced 3 batters. They have Jose Quijada, a lefty, loosening up right now, and with Dalton Varsho about to come up to the plate, this could be the day for Strickland. Washington hasn't made a point, but this is what he did last time, and I would imagine that in a warm-up pitch or 2 for Quijada, we're going to see a point down to the right field bullpen. Ryan Addison going to break it up. Ron Washington spots that. He turns, hands in his back pockets, still waiting.
This is a show. Ron Washington loves putting on a show.
Still waiting. Ryan Addington is near the visit, but hasn't broken it up. We have to have something happen at this point, and no point even made. Strickland just starts walking off the mound. Jose Quijada is coming in. Good thing there's a clock on the warm-up pitches as well, so the Angels can't take all the time in the world there, and we will fill that time as we wait for the new reliever Quijada with our host today. Once again, it's Roger Lajoie.
And Ben, thanks very much. I'll fill the time by taking another check of the out-of-town scoreboard, which is brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. It's a full night, as I said, Friday night in the majors. Pittsburgh Pirates continue to lead Cincinnati 6-5. Reds led this game 5-0. Pirates have scored 6 straight runs, 4 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th. Dela Cruz's sacrifice fly is the difference in this one so far. In the top of the 8th, Pirates leading there 6-5. Houston still leading Baltimore 5-2. That game in the top of the 7th. Astros looking for a 10th straight victory. Jose Altuve, a 2-run homer. Pina with a home run as well for Houston. And Colton Cowser with his 19th for the Orioles. Aaron Judge has his 49th of the season, and the Yankees head to the bottom of the 7th in the Bronx, leading Colorado 3-0. Stanton with his 22nd as well for the Yankees in that one. Arizona leading Boston 5-2. They're in the top of the 7th at Fenway. Bottom of the 6th in Cleveland. Texas continues to lead Cleveland 4-3. Seager and Torres both had 2-run singles in that game for Texas. The Cubs and the Miami Marlins tied 3-3 in Miami, playing in the bottom of the 6th. Top of the 7th now in Atlanta. Washington up on Atlanta 2-1. Chaparro with a 2-run homer in that one for Washington. Detroit leading Chicago 2-1. White Sox now hitting in the bottom of the 3rd in Chicago. Bottom of the 3rd in Kansas City. 1-1 tie, Philadelphia and the Royals. Top of the 3rd in Minnesota. Twins lead the Cardinals 1-0. 4 games coming up later in the majors. Minnesota's at Oakland. The Mets are in San Diego. That's a big game for both those teams as they jockey for playoff positioning in the National League. San Francisco is in Seattle tonight, and the Tampa Bay Rays are in Los Angeles to take on the Dodgers. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Now back to the game. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Raj. Jose Quijada is in the game. Left-handed reliever for the Angels, makes his 11th appearance of the season. And they bring on Quijada, does Ron Washington and Los Angeles, because Dalton Varsho is up right now, a left-handed hitter. And Quijada is very tough on lefties. The reliever has limited left-handed hitters to a sub-100 batting average this season. First and second, 2 outs, 4-3 Angels. The pitch. Varsho takes way upstairs, ball 1. The sneaky thing, though, is Dalton Varsho has been better against left-handed pitching than right-handed pitching this year by a wide margin, hitting over 300 against lefties and under 200 against righties. Quijada's set. Looks at second, the pitch. Varsho takes way up top again, 2-0.
In Varsho's last at-bat, he hit a good hard single to the left side of the infield through that big hole. And again, the Angels are playing him the exact same way that they did last time. Zach Neto, the shortstop, is almost behind the second base bag. There's a big hole on the left side.
2-0 pitch. Swing and a foul back. 96 on the inner third. And it's 2-1.
Quijada's got some good juice.
He does. We were talking, though, about Kahanowitz really leaning on one pitch. Quijada almost literally leans on one pitch. He's throwing his fastball around 95% of the time. His 2-1. Swing and a miss. Chase the fastball up and in. It's 2-2.
That's one of those high spin rate fastballs, almost the exact opposite of the starter, where it's almost rising when it gets to the plate. That awkward swing from Dalton Varsho will tell you that.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Loperfido on second as the tying run. Baroa on first. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Tied him up and in again. A scream from Quijada, who throws his right hand up in the air and barks something back toward the Toronto dugout as he strands a pair to end the 7th. 4-3, the Angels lead the Blue Jays. Yenesis Cabrera on next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track. Saturday,
6:30 p.m. Eastern.
it's the Coke Zero Sugar 400 from Daytona International Speedway. On SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yes!
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike three and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app. Blue Jays fans, your manager, John Schneider, joins MLB Network Radio every other Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
A lot of these young guys are comfortable playing with one another from the minor leagues and understanding that they're in the big leagues now and expectations are a little bit different. So it has been cool to see that kind of shift in energy.
Managers at the mic on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89 and the SiriusXM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
Eighth inning in downtown Toronto, and the Blue Jays trailing by 1, 4-3. The Angels lead here at Rogers Center. Los Angeles trying to even up this four-game series. The Blue Jays trying to guarantee at a minimum a split after Toronto took the opener 5-3 yesterday. Cabrera on to face the top of the order for the Angels. Starts with right-handed hitter Taylor Ward. Southpaw Blue Jays reliever rocks back and delivers, and the first pitch is swung on and missed. Strike one. 55th appearance of the year for Genesis Cabrera, a .331 earned run average. 0-1. Swing and a foul behind the plate, 1-2. Or 0-2, pardon me.
He's been pretty good this year. The biggest reason for that is just throwing more strikes with that fastball. About when May hit, I think he had a little bit of a speed bump in April, but as soon as May hit, he was a different guy out there.
0-2 pitch, fouled right back. 97 at the top of the zone, still 0-2. Yeah, I mean, great year for Cabrera. If you look at his 6-year career, this is, if the season ended today, his best full season ERA. He did have a 2.5 in 2020, but that was only 19 appearances. 0-2. Bounced it to the plate. Action in the Angel pen right now. Blue Jays just had a chance to tie it with a leadoff runner on second and first and second, one out, but did not score in this 4-3 game. Pitch to Ward. Down and in 2-2, and now they potentially face the wrath coming up next of Ben Joyce, who we'll talk about more in the 8th or 9th whenever he comes in, but that is one of the most imposing relievers right now in all of baseball.
Yeah, he's only given up one home run in almost 30 innings.
Cabrera sets, 2-2 count to Ward, and the pitch home. Up and away, ball 3. Four-seam fastball, sinker, and cutter for Cabrera. Also a curveball and a changeup. Cutter acts a little bit more like a traditional slider. 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Threw the cutter and got Ward to swing over top of it, 1 out.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know why they call that pitch a cutter. It has the slider spin to it, the slider depth. It's a pretty good pitch right there. Started down the middle, looked like a good pitch to hit, and Taylor Ward just swings right over the top of it.
So a strikeout to start the outing for Cabrera, and here's Zach Neto, the right-handed hitting shortstop. Cabrera kicks and delivers. Bounced it to the plate, 1-0. I think on the naming of pitches, and I'm not saying it's consistent everywhere, but I think what they do a lot these days, because there are so many pitch classifications, is they go off the grip of the pitch. So you might throw your curveball like a slider in terms of velocity and movement, but if you grip it like a curveball, they call it a curveball. 1-0 pitch called strike 1-1. And I'm not speaking for every pitcher and every
that makes sense.
Classifying system, but I think that's how they do it.
I just have such an old school mentality. I need to shake myself and get out of that mentality.
The 1-1. Swing and a line drive, shallow center. Charging in, Varsho dives, and it's down in front of him. He blocked it, but that'll be a base hit for Neto. Varsho limits him to a single by keeping it in front of him, stopping it with his glove. It's a one-out base runner for the Angels.
You have to love the effort, the aggressiveness, but I don't know if I love the choice. That ball almost got away from Varsho. Could have been a triple for Neto. Just hit him in the stomach. If that ball doesn't hit him in the stomach, that is a definite triple with only one out in this inning.
It looked a little bit more composed from 300 feet away. Looked like it hit the glove, but it bounced under the glove, and you're right, hit him in the midsection. Nolan Shonwell up, left on left. Shonwell shows bunt, pulls it back, pitches high, 1-0. I don't know that the 6'4" Shonwell is exceptionally fast, but he has shown bunt a couple times in this series already. 1-0, takes a pitch, called strike.
Maybe he'll take it with him. Will Wagner at second base is playing way back.
I mean, Baseball Savant, StatCast metrics would say that Shonwell is well below average in terms of speed. 1-1. Swing and a foul back, 1-2, and perhaps just trying to shift the defense or get something in the mind of the pitcher. Would that impact you much at all when you saw a guy show bunt?
I'm just trying to throw strikes.
Right, so you don't even.
No,
you're way past what they're doing.
I think most pitchers, if they see that, they don't really react to it. They just go ahead and make the pitch.
Cabrera kicks on the 1-2. Missed down and away with the cutter. Hit the spot he wanted, but Shonwell didn't chase. It's a tough guy to strike out, Nolan Shonwell. 57 walks to 83 strikeouts. Pretty good ratio for the left-handed hitter. 2-2. Lined foul off to the left into the seats. One out in the top of the eighth. 4-3 Angels over Blue Jays. Runner on first, Zach Neto, and a 2-2 count. Nolan Shonwell is going to ask for time before the 2-2 pitch. I think he's got something in his eye.
Addison Barger is playing way off the third base line, probably where a shortstop would normally play. There's a huge gap between that third baseman and Addison Barger.
2-2, runner takes off from first. Pitches high, a ball. Throw down to second. Got him! Big point from Cabrera back to Alejandro Kirk. Zach Neto isn't so sure. He thinks the Angels should review it, but for now it's the 21st runner caught stealing by Kirk.
Yeah, he's been really good behind the plate, framing, blocking, throwing guys out. That was an incredible throw from Kirk.
Ron Washington, though, is going to ask for a review. Or is he? No. It looked like they were at one point. Washington had made a signal, and I don't know if he was too late or changed his mind. But for Kirk, it's going to be a caught stealing on the second look. It looks like they got him.
Yeah.
Ernie Clement applied the tag, and there are now 2 outs and the bases empty.
Yeah, Ernie Clement made the catch, tagged Neto on the hamstring as he was sliding by.
3-2 to Shonwell, hit back foul. Luis Hurtado, one of the coaches for the Blue Jays, went through with me today some of the work that he's been doing with Alejandro Kirk. A lot of work with weighted balls, trying to increase the arm strength. And he said he's been very impressed by the throwing of Kirk this year, especially the accuracy of the throws, and that arm strength is coming along. 3-2. At the knees, called strike 3. Cabrera faces the minimum, strikes out a pair, and Alejandro Kirk helps him out catching Zach Neto trying to steal to send us to the middle of the 8th. Angels 4, Blue Jays 3 at Rogers Center. Spencer Horwitz leads off when we return. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca. I am by your side. Got a heart so big. On this you can rely. No mountains too tall for the strong boots to climb. I am by your side.
That was Desjardins Insurance, playing insurance with a heart so big it shows. Tune in for your auto and home coverage at desjardins.com/heart.
For this life I cannot change. Hidden hills, deep off in the main.
This is George Springer, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left is Chris LaRue, Roger Lajoie, our host, Nick Blackmore, our producer, Andrew Adams, and Tom Young, our technical directors. This one has been a nail-biter, 4-3. The Angels lead the Blue Jays. Bottom of the 8th inning, and the middle of the order is up for Toronto. Spencer Horwitz will lead off, but hard-throwing Ben Joyce takes over on the mound for the Angels.
Can't wait to watch this show.
Joyce, the hard-throwing right-hander, kicks and delivers, and the first pitch misses outside at 95. 1-0.
That was a sinker, though. His sinker's 95-97, and then he really gasses up that four-seamer.
Four-seamer averages 102. 1-0. Four-seam fastball, 102 on the outside corner. Strike one.
102.4 miles an hour. That's pretty incredible.
It is the hardest average pitch in all of baseball among the 250 qualified pitchers. A swing and a miss at 101, and it's 1-2.
I'll tell you what, you throw that four-seamer at 100 to 102 miles an hour at the top of the zone, it's almost unhittable.
Has hit 105 this season. It was 104.8. Second hardest pitch thrown in baseball. Only Aroldis Chapman's 105.1 beat it. Righty with a breath. Kicks and delivers. Horwitz takes up and away at 102 again.
He's a big guy, too. 6'5", 230 pounds.
Second season for the righty. 27th appearance, 2.5 ERA. 2-2. Swing and a bouncer foul. Went with the changeup that time at 91.
He's another guy that came up to the big leagues relatively quickly. Obviously, when you throw 102 miles an hour, it's pretty easy to get called up, but Nolan Shonwell and Ben Joyce.
Another 2-2. Foul tipped into the glove. Strike three. 102 middle in. Gets Horwitz. And that's the first out of the inning. But yeah, you're right. Joyce was a 2022 third rounder by the Angels out of Tennessee. And, I mean, you could see why they went after him. He threw an 105.5 mile per hour pitch at Tennessee. That's the hardest ever thrown college pitch. First pitch to Alejandro Kirk, 98 inside, 1-0.
I'm sorry, but I want to know why he dropped to the number 89 pick. How did that happen? How?
He did have Tommy John in school. I don't know if that scared people.
I'm drafting him.
1-0. Broken bat flare headed to left field, down for a base hit. Have yourself a day, Alejandro Kirk. 2 hits now, 2 RBIs on the day, and a runner caught stealing. He represents the tying run for the Blue Jays, and they'll pinch run for him now as they send Brian Servin out there to replace Kirk on first base.
Yeah, Kirk will take that all day long. That fastball absolutely shattered his bat, 102 miles an hour. Actually, off the plate, he gets the handle to it and just drops it over the shortstop in left field.
As Caleb Joseph likes to say, that bat died a hero. And for Alejandro Kirk, he will take it. He picks up the broken lumber and heads back into a sea of high fives in the dugout. Will Wagner now up to the plate for the Blue Jays, playing in his 10th Major League game. He has hits in all of his previous 8 starts, 1 substitute appearance. No hits today, though, 0 for 3. Home plate umpire Ryan Addington is not behind the plate. All the players on the field were getting ready to go. There was a leadoff first from Servin. Joyce stepped on the rubber. No one realized that the home plate ump hadn't called play back in yet. Now we're ready to go. And Joyce uncorks a pitch. Fastball misses up and away at 97. 1-0.
It's actually pretty incredible how much movement he gets on that sinker. 97, 98 miles an hour with that thing. And like we've talked about a few times, that four-seam fastball that stays straight at 102 miles an hour.
1-0. Inside at 97. 2 balls and no strikes. Joyce will get a little spotty with command. 14 walks in under 30 innings this year. 2-0 pitch is bounced softly to second base. Servin had to wait. Drury picks it up. His only play is first, and the throw is there to get Wagner for the second out. Servin did advance to second base on the slow roller, so the Blue Jays do have the tying run in scoring position with 2 outs.
And guess who's coming to the plate? Ernie Clement.
Tough matchup here, but a single should tie the game up for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, he hit a home run last night at a pitch around his eyes. Let's see if he can do that again.
Ben Joyce's pitch. Inside, ball 1. That Clement pitch that he hit was the highest pitch in the StatCast era to be hit for a home run by a Blue Jay, and the 3rd highest all-time in the StatCast era. 1-0. 1-0-2 at the bottom of the zone. Strike 1. Servin on second base and 2 outs. 4-3 Angels. The 1-1 pitch inside, and Clement gets out of the way of 101, pretty close to his hands. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, you don't want 101 at the hands, that's for sure. All those little bones in there.
Joyce peeks at second. One more look, and the pitch. Swing and a fly ball left field. Hangs up for Taylor Ward. Camped under it. He makes the catch. And that will do it for the 8th inning. Blue Jays get 1 hit off Ben Joyce and bring the tying run to second base, but they leave him there. And we go to the 9th with the Angels up 4-3. Stick around. This one's tight. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
When it's time to turn up. Turn to Flex 2K, a Sirius XM channel that takes you from 2000s bling to the rise of trap.
Let's go, man.
Nothing but the hip-hop bangers that define the first 2 decades of the millennium. Flex 2K, Channel 49, and the Sirius XM app.
Hello, Blue Jay fans. I'm Craig Ballard, host of your daily Locked On Blue Jays podcast. Locked On Blue Jays is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On Blue Jays brings you the latest.
What's up, baseball fans? Thanks for hanging out with us for this Toronto Blue Jays game. Please take a moment and join the 35,349 subscribers that have done so already and smash that subscribe button. Make sure that bell is turned on so you don't miss it when we go live. We are live for every single Toronto sports matchup. Whether it's the Blue Jays, we've got Leaf season coming up. We're doing an Argos game, the Argos games as well. Bills games. Every single game is right here on Toronto Sports Insider. Please hit that subscribe button and join our crew and help us continue to grow. We'll see you guys back in the chat. Thank you very much for joining our awesome community.
Sports Radio, Channel 84.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
At Radio Network.
Ninth inning in downtown Toronto. The Angels leading the Blue Jays 4-3. Thanks so much for sticking around through this one. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left is Chris LaRue. Blue Jays have a new pitcher on the mound. Chad Green takes over in the ninth. Righty deals to Kevin Pillar to start the inning. And it's a first pitch slider for strike one. 41st appearance of the season for Green. 1.77 ERA. 0-1 pitch is a heater off the plate away, or make that the slider again. 1 ball, 1 strike. Green kicks and fires. Pillar swings and lines a ball into right field for a base hit. Second time aboard in the game for Kevin Pillar, his first hit of the day. And for the Angels, a leadoff base runner here in the ninth.
Yeah, pretty good swing from Kevin Pillar. Again, he's not playing like a guy that's about to retire. He smokes that ball through the hole on the right side. Good line drive on a fastball from Chad Green.
Every run precious right now. The Blue Jays trailing 4-3. Gave up 4 in the second, but have gotten closer and closer as the game's gone on. First pitch to Anthony Rendon. High ball 1. New catcher for the Blue Jays, Brian Servin. He was brought in as pinch runner for Alejandro Kirk, who singled last inning. 1-0. Swing and a foul back, 1-1. Green trying to get the Blue Jays to the bottom of the ninth inning as quick as possible, dealing with a leadoff base runner and no outs in the top of the ninth. Pillar takes off on the 1-1, swing and a miss, throw down to second, not in time. Good pick by Will Wagner to keep it in the infield. That'll be a stolen base for Kevin Pillar, his 10th of the season.
Yeah, I think Kevin Pillar stole that base on Chad Green. Chad Green is pretty slow to the plate, a long arm swing. Kevin Pillar gets a good jump. Brian Servin really no chance to throw him out at second base.
Now Rendon can just look to advance the runner to third. 4-3 Angels. 1-2 pitch. Just off the plate outside. Was mentioning the bottom of the ninth because the one piece of good news for the Blue Jays is it looks like Ben Joyce won't be coming back out. The flame-throwing righty who pitched the eighth. 2-2. Just off the plate away again, full count.
Probably a disappointment for fans that love to see the radar gun lit up.
Yeah, Joyce, he's averaging 102 on his four-seamer. He is their closer, but Ron Washington decided to use him against the middle of the Blue Jay order in the eighth. 3-2 pitch. Rendon bounces it in front of the plate. Kirk gets rid of the mask, bare-hands it. Throw on to first in time for the out. Pillar will advance to third, though, on the swinging bunt. But there is one down here in the top of the ninth.
And now you have that big run. Kevin Pillar standing on third base. This is a big strikeout spot for Chad Green. You have to throw a lot of breaking balls below the zone. Throw that hard four-seamer above the zone. See if you can get a strikeout here.
Infield in for the Blue Jays. Meanwhile, on the Angels side, Logan O'Hoppe comes up to the plate trying to give an extra run of insurance before Roansy Contreras comes in the bottom of the ninth. The reliever getting loose for the Halos. First pitch. O'Hoppe hits it on the ground to second. Wagner picks it up. Pillar won't go anywhere. The throw to first in time. 2 outs.
Perfect pitch from Chad Green. You can see Brian Servin set up at the top of the zone with that target, and he throws that good four-seam fastball in on the hands of O'Hoppe, and he just hits a weak ground ball to second base. Will Wagner tosses it over to first.
Pillar took maybe 2 or 3 steps just to see if Wagner would field it clean and then went right back to third. Infield backs up now, and the pitch to Nico Cavadis is cut on and missed, strike one.
In a situation like that, you throw the throw that fastball up to try and induce a pop-up, and then you throw that the off-speed stuff below the zone to get a swing and miss, but I'll take that too.
Ground ball right at a guy. 0-1. Swinging a foul back, 0-2. Contreras continues to warm. He's set to face the bottom third of the Blue Jay order, Loperfido, Barger, Baroa. Blue Jays do have Guerrero, Schneider, and Jimenez on the bench. 0-2. Swing and a fly ball, deep left field, slicing toward the foul pole, and that one is into the seats foul. Still 0-2.
Earlier in the ball game, and I could be way off with this, but Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was sitting on that seat right in front of the dugout. I don't see him. So maybe he's in the back, in the cage, taking some swings. But I also don't know if this is a true off day where he's not coming into this ball game.
0-2 pitch, popped up foul into the seats. John Schneider said that it was his preference Guerrero not play today. However, he said if there is a big spot late in the game, he will be prepared. And potentially being the tying or go-ahead run in the bottom of the ninth sounds like a pretty big spot. I can see Vladdy walking in the dugout now. 0-2 pitch, check swing on a pitch low, and he went around on appeal, says Edwin Jimenez, the third base umpire. Green strikes out Cavadas, strands the leadoff single in Pilar, and keeps it 4-3 Angels as we go to the bottom of the ninth. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca. We're two men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think two men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're two men and a truck. Two men and a truck, the movers who care.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Vladdy with a huge stretch for the double play.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Baseball Control in Toronto. I'm Roger Lajoie. The bottom of the ninth is coming up. The Angels clinging to a 4-3 lead. Can the Blue Jays hold on? Right after the game, whenever it ends, Jeff Blair will have Jays talk. 1-888-666-0590, 416-870-0590, star 590. Give them a call right after the game. Blue Jays Baseball is brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. With a call at the bottom of the ninth, let's get back to Rogers Center. Ben Shulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you, Raj. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. 4-3 Angels. Roansy Contreras on for the Halos to close, and his first pitch to Joey Loperfido misses outside, ball one. Angels scored 4 in the second. Blue Jays have responded with 2 in the fourth and 1 in the sixth. 1-0. Loperfido takes down and in. Ball 2. And Ron Washington has gambled in this game. Wanted his closer, Ben Joyce, for the meat of the order in the 8th. So he goes to Contreras, who has 3 career saves in the 9th. And the 2-0 pitch is hit foul on a bounce over to the right. Loperfido, Barger, Baroa is the scheduled 3 hitters this inning. 2-1. Loperfido hits it in the air. Left center field. Pilar going back at the track. The ball is gone! The first Rogers Center home run for Joey Loperfido is a game-tying blast in the bottom of the ninth. It's 4-4.
Well, he took that pitch down in the zone and absolutely drilled it over the wall in left field. Kevin Pilar had a beat on it. I thought for a second we'd see one of those patented catches, but it just sneaks over that wall in left center.
Now the game tied, and Addison Barger up to the plate takes strike 1. So a blown save for Contreras, and at a minimum extra innings, Blue Jays can think about walking it off now as Barger takes down an in-ball one. Loperfido donning the home run jacket, and he did walk by a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with a helmet on in that dugout. 1-1 pitch, called strike 1 and 2. Although Stuart Baroa is standing on deck right now. Blue Jays fans getting loud, over 25,000 of them. 1-2 to Barger, check swing. Pitch was down low, 2-2.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has a helmet on, his bat in his hand. He's standing behind George Springer, who's on about the second step in that dugout.
2-2. Low ball 3.
I would imagine it depends on the situation if Vlad comes up. If Addison Barger gets on, he might pinch hit for Stuart Baroa.
Full count. Contreras kicks, delivers, and Barger hammers it deep to right field! And it's foul by maybe 10 feet. He just missed the walk-off homer.
Well, that was pretty great.
My goodness, Addison Barger absolutely turned on that pitch. And it just missed fair territory. And now he swings at the next one and drives it. This one's going to stay fair. Ball game! Ball game! Addison Barger goes back-to-back with Joey Loperfido, and the Blue Jays' young stars walk it off. From 4-0 down, Toronto takes it 5-4 thanks to big swings from Loperfido and Barger.
Well, Addison Barger missed a home run by about 5 feet on the previous pitch. And Contreras comes back with a hanging changeup, and he absolutely drilled it for a game-winning home run over that bullpen in right field. What a game. What an ending to this game. Loperfido and Addison Barger, the stars of tonight's game.
Blue Jays come back to get the win, guarantee a series split. 5-4 is your final score, and Addison Barger is your hero. We will take a quick step aside, wrap it up, and get you over to Blue Jays talk in just a second. Again, 5-4 on the Barger walk-off homer. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The Blue Jays are inviting you to work from Dome.
What's up, insiders? What a walk-off win. The Blue Jays back-to-back home runs to get the walk-off win over the Angels. What a comeback. We said it was going to happen in the chat. That's what I'm talking about, Blue Jays fans. Davey Boy, TCOB, Mike, I see you, Jansen, Lisa, Rod, Mark, Not Pro, everybody, cheers. Thanks for being here, and a heck of a Blue Jays win. Wow, that was awesome. That was unbelievable. Barger there walks it off, gets the home run to end it, just missed it, just went foul, and then he got it done anyway. Next pitch, home run. We'll do it again. This time fair. And we get it done. The Blue Jays get the victory. I wish it meant something in the playoff race, but hey, we'll take it when we can get it. Cheers to all of you in the chat. Thanks for being here. I was hosting a soccer team event at my son's game at the RV out there at the tournament, and had a little bit of dinner and some snacks and whatnot out there for the kids afterwards. So great to see everybody. Thanks for holding it down in the chat. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Go Blue Jays, go. Actually, tomorrow during the day. Blue Jays and the Bills tomorrow. We'll see you then. I'll be at the soccer field again, but hey, that's what I do. I'm TSI Mike, and I'm signing off. Good night, everybody. I'll let the post game run as always. Cheers.
Really all over the place. He hit the first batter he faced. He fell behind 3-0 to the second batter, and then he ended up giving up 4 runs in that second inning. But after that, innings 3 to 6, he was again he found that second, third, fourth gear and was absolutely dominant. Didn't give up another run in his outing. Ended up going 6 innings, giving up just 4 runs. All 4 of those runs coming in the second inning. But this was an exciting game from start to finish.
Neither starter would factor into the decision, although it was a good day for the rookie Jack Kohanowitz, who throws a third straight quality start. He went 6+ and gave up 3 earned runs. But the Blue Jays were chipping away at this 4-0 deficit from early on. Dalton Varsho and Spencer Horwitz both scored in the 4th inning after a single and double to start that frame. Varsho singled again in the 6th inning and came around to score. Alejandro Kirk drove him in as part of a 2-hit, 2 RBI day for Kirk. But the Blue Jays then squandered some opportunities. They had runners in scoring position still in that 6th inning down 1, and then in the 7th and 8th, and did not cash in on any of those after scoring the 3rd run. So they'd go all the way to the bottom of the 9th. Maybe a decision that will get scrutinized on Anaheim radio. Ron Washington went to Ben Joyce, the closer, in the 8th inning, and it did work in the 8th to shut down the middle of the Blue Jay order. The bottom of the order was coming up in the 9th. He threw out the relatively unproven in closing situations, Roansy Contreras, who only had 3 career saves. Joey Loperfido homers immediately to tie the game. First batter of the inning. We're thinking, when is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. going to pinch hit? Does he go in for Stuart Baroa? But before we can even get there, Addison Barger steps up and delivers the play of the game. And now he swings at the next one and drives it. This one's going to stay fair. Ball game! Ball game! Addison Barger goes back-to-back with Joey Loperfido, and the Blue Jays' young stars walk it off.
Well, the best thing about that swing was on the previous swing, he missed a home run by about 10 feet foul down that right field foul line. And then he absolutely drilled a hanging changeup from Contreras. What a swing. Joey Loperfido with a great swing going opposite field, home run over that wall in left center. But Addison Barger's been waiting for a moment like this. He was built for moments like this. You see the hair getting wet. They dumped the Gatorade on him after the game. What a moment! What a game! I loved this game from start to finish.
Blue Jays win 5-4. They'll guarantee at least a series split in this 4-game set against the Angels. It was a great one, like Chris said, between these two teams. Angels end up scoring 4 on 6 hits, 1 error, leave 3 on the Blue Jays. 5 on 10 hits, no errors, leave 6 on. Toronto's now homered in 12 straight games after the Loperfido and Barger blasts. And Chad Green picks up the win today for the Blue Jays, pitching that scoreless 9th before Toronto took the lead. He's 4-3. Roansy Contreras picks up the loss and the blown save. He goes to 2-3. Game took 2 hours and 25 minutes. 25,431 were on hand, and it was a classic. Blue Jays walk it off on a Barger home run and win 5-4. LA now 54-75. The Blue Jays 61-68, and they'll try to win the series coming up tomorrow. Daytime baseball in downtown Toronto. 3:07 first pitch. Carson Fulmer goes for the Los Angeles Angels, and the reigning American League Player of the Week, Bowden Francis, goes for the Blue Jays. We'll have local pregame starting at 2 o'clock on Fan 590 in Toronto, and as always, Jays Talk coming up after the game. We hope that we'll see you then. Thanks so much for tuning in today. For our technical directors, Tom Young and Andrew Adams, our producer, Nick Blackmore, and our host, Roger Lajoie, as well, my partner, Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Schulman. Hope you have a great rest of your evening, and get your calls in, because it's a walk-off winning edition of Blue Jays Talk with Jeff Blair, starting right now.
4 win. We'll endeavor to do. Or will endeavor to listen to half an hour of quality radio without a negative thought about the Toronto Blue Jays. Suspend your cynicism for a minute. I think we all get the context here. It is the Angels. It's August 23rd. At the end of the day, this result is essentially meaningless. But given everything we've seen and gone through this year, I defy you to tell me that you didn't have a great deal of fun if you were at the ballpark tonight, or if you were watching the game, or if you were listening to the game, watching the Blue Jays walk off the Angels, watching Addison Barger and Joey Loperfido go deep. A 5-4 Blue Jays win. 416-870-0590, star 591, 888-666-0590. Now, I'm gonna mention this again. 590-590 is a text line, by the way. I'm not going to get carried away with what Joey Loperfido does, but I'm going to say something that I've mentioned often since the trade deadline. And I just want to let it breathe a bit. The Toronto Blue Jays added Teoscar Hernandez in a deal with the Houston Astros. And at the time, nobody made a big deal about it. It was just kind of a move. Teoscar Hernandez was a guy who was on the cusp, pardon me, of a major league career with the Astros. Had a serious injury running into Jose Altuve. And nobody at that time, and I know because I was writing then and talking then, at that time we kind of looked at the trade and thought, it's okay, I mean, why not? The hell, bring another outfielder in, somebody can hit. Why not? I mean, maybe it works out. So I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know what Joey Loperfido is going to turn into. I don't know what Addison Barger is going to turn into. My sense is Joey Loperfido, as Dan Shulman said, Joey Loperfido is an interesting player, which is kind of baseball guy for there's an awful lot to like here. Again, don't know how it's going to turn out necessarily. But right now, there's an element of intrigue to this team that has not existed this season. They have homered in 12 consecutive games. We talked about this on Blair and Barker today, going back to, I don't know the exact date in August, but going back to a certain date in August, maybe it was the 11th or 12th or something like that. The Blue Jays are among the league leaders, or at the top in home runs average and slug. They are a lot more fun to watch right now. And I understand. That is not a replacement for the excitement, the tension, the expectations of a playoff race. We did not expect to be here on August 23rd. But here we are. And in the very least, and I was at the game last night, did a quick tour of the stadium, the Rogers Center. I was meeting somebody just for a chat, talked to a couple of people, and they all said the same thing. They all said, I'm at least enjoying this. I'm not going to read too much into it. I'm not going to start giving these guys 6-year contracts, but I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. I'm enjoying Ernie Clement. I'm enjoying Joey Loperfido. I'm enjoying Will Wagner. And I think if you were watching these games on TV and took a look at the camera shots of the dugout in recent nights, it's pretty clear that people in this team are finally starting to have a little fun. And you know what? At this stage of the year, given all we've talked about, I'm okay with that. I'm going to be very interested in seeing, because once the series with Anaheim is over, then it gets serious. Then you got the Red Sox. Then you got the Phillies. You've got teams that are playing for something. You've got teams that are much better or have played much better than the Blue Jays this year. We'll have teams that have much better lineups than what the Blue Jays have faced recently. And it'll be fun to see if these young guys and this team can play spoiler. Like, I'm actually looking forward to that. And I can honestly tell you, 2 weeks ago, I wasn't. 2 weeks ago, I was wondering, how the hell am I going to talk about this team given the way things were going, given the feeling around the team. I mean, I can get a little worked up about this. I like what I see. Not going to read too much into it. I'm not saying that this is enough to win the AL East next year. Bring this lineup back next year. You're probably going to finish in last place again. Let's be clear. But there's some pieces here. There are some left-handed hitters here that I haven't seen this organization have in a long, long time. 416-870-0590, star 591, 888-666-0590. Brendan and Alberta, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Hey, Jeff. I just wanted to, you had already touched on Loperfido a little bit, but, 9 for his last 20 versus what he did over his first 35 or 35-ish at bats with the Blue Jays. He's looked like he's turned the corner a little bit since he broke that long over he had. I'm not really sure what kind of adjustments they were making. I was wondering if you had heard anything from the Blue Jays about what they're trying to get him to do. It looks like he's laying off the high fastball a little bit more, and he's trying to attack pitches down and maybe inside a little bit more aggressively. And also I wanted to harken back to your days on the Jeff Blair show and get your 20 cents on Summer McIntosh, who was there at the game today throwing out the first pitch. I was wondering if you think she's a shoo-in for the North Star Award this year.
Okay, I'll answer that. Yeah. As someone who has a vote, in an Olympic year, it's generally going to be an Olympic athlete. The more interesting story is going to be, who are the finalists going to be? There's a lot of. We aren't even talking about like the hockey guys or anything like that. There are a lot of finalists, but yeah, she has to be. She has to be. She has to be in the lead right now. And like I said, I've got a vote, and she'll be my first place vote. As far as Joey Loperfido goes, we had John Schneider on today, asked him about Loperfido. And, I think what the Blue Jays have done with him more than anything else, I don't know if they've necessarily made a mechanical adjustment, but I think one of the things John Schneider talked about was when you get a guy who, comes over to your team from another organization, and an organization where he was considered to be a fairly highly touted prospect. Before you start tinkering with things, I think even the Blue Jays, we joke about the Blue Jays and their 130 hitting coaches and all this stuff and how, busy work, right? All these people walking around, the desire to quote unquote help or quote unquote work with somebody. I think what the Jays have done, and I know what the Jays did with this guy initially, was just see what he was. Kind of the same thing Pete Walker talked about with the new pitchers. Why don't you see what you have before you go about suggesting you do this or we want you to do that? Just kind of let them tell you where they are. And I know Kevin Barker has made the point often. He talks to people, and I know he's made the point often that when Joey Loperfido first came up here, he kind of got the sense that Joey Loperfido was. It's not that he wasn't buying into what they were talking about, but I think he was kind of betwixt and between. What was I doing in Houston? What did they want me to do? What do I have to do here? And I think the Jays, to their credit, just said, look, let's just see what you are, and we'll start making some suggestions. And I think that by letting him do that and by removing as much pressure as they possibly could from him, I think they just kind of let him sort of fall into, being his natural self. This is Joey Loperfido. This was, triples, doubles, homers. This is what he was about with Houston. This is what the Astros were saying. He's going to play good defense. Maybe not great defense, but he's going to play good defense. He knows how to run. He's fast. And there's some power there. So I think more than anything else, this is just a matter of an organization letting a guy be himself, standing back for a little bit. John in Mississauga, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Hi, Jeff. Good evening. I think my thunder's been stolen a little bit. What you were talking about 5 or 6 minutes ago, I couldn't agree more with. But my point was kind of about the Blue Jays minor league system, which gets bashed year after year. We don't have any prospects. There's nothing there to trade. There's, maybe it's time, that something like tonight shows that once in a while you should maybe try some of these guys and see what you have, as you just said, 2 minutes ago. Because there's been a lot of stories about players that they don't show in AAA or AA, but when they get to the majors, something clicks and they start to play well. So even though they're not ranked, as high prospects in Major League Baseball, at least try them. The Jays are famous for never relying on their minor system and constantly signing free agents. So that's what this game tonight reminded me of. By the way, it was a great game.
Thanks for the call. Look, Vladdy and Bo are both from within this organization. The catchers are from within this organization. So it's not as if they've been completely bereft. I've always said this about minor league rankings. Right? To me, the value of a player, I know people get tired when I say this, but it's true. The value of a player, the value of a minor leaguer is what somebody else will trade you for him. That ultimately tells you the value of the player. It really doesn't, with all due respect to the people who do those rankings, and they do put work in it, and they certainly don't pull it out of their ass. They talk to people. They've got their own methodology. Some of them are former scouts or people who were, involved in player development. But with all due respect to them, what is an organization's third-ranked prospect than their sixth-ranked prospect? What if I like the sixth-ranked prospect better than the third-ranked prospect because he profiles better for my organization? See what I'm saying? And that's why I don't get caught up in prospect rankings. When J.P. Ricciardi was here, he used to catch grief because he said he rated organizations based on how many guys got to the majors. It didn't mean they're all stars, but his point was, look, you draft somebody to play in the major leagues. That's your ultimate goal when you pick these guys. And if your organization graduates guys to the majors, or if guys that you picked graduate to the majors, and it doesn't even have to be with your organization, that's kind of a success. Now we can get to have a discussion where, if a guy's a first-round pick or the second pick overall, you probably have greater expectations for him than, somebody who was picked in the 13th round or the 15th round or whatever. But my point is that it's something you have to keep in mind when you evaluate minor league systems. And, I look at this lineup today, right? Addison Barger, homegrown guy. Broa, homegrown guy. Loperfido, another organization. Clement, another organization. Wagner, another organization. Kirk, homegrown guy. Horwitz, homegrown guy. Varsho, another organization. Springer, another organization. So, when the Jays made all these moves at the trade deadline, it was interesting watching how the various ranking bodies adjusted the Jays minor league rankings as a result of those trades. And what you really saw was just a reflection of how shallow the Jays minor league system was. A lot of these guys were coming in and were, I think Jake Bloss was the third ranked prospect in the organization after the deal for him. Some of these other guys, kind of fit in the middle. And, and the key thing to remember about the guys that we're seeing right now is they're not all going to be in the major league roster next year. We just know they're not. They can't be. As much fun as this is, you can't be running this lineup out on opening day and expecting to win in the AL East. But a lot of these guys are going to get a chance to impress other teams. And for an organization that's got a lot of heavy lifting to do in the offseason, needs at least a couple of middle-of-the-order hitters, needs to rework its bullpen, probably needs another catcher, Maybe not as much of an everyday guy as we thought, but another catcher. Some of these guys are going to end up being traded to get those commodities. And that's why what the Jays did at the trade deadline is so important. Because Aurelvis Martinez is suspended. You don't know what he is. Other teams don't know what he is. Ricky Tiedemann is hurt. He's undergoing Tommy John surgery. They got a couple of other guys, other pitchers who are undergoing Tommy John surgery. So they didn't have a lot in the minor league system, not just to bring up to the majors. They didn't have a lot to throw in a trade. So that's why these guys are so important. I mean, I look at a lot of these guys, and, you know, I think Ernie Clement's here next year. Leo Jimenez, to me, is, I mean, depending on what happens with Bo Bichette, he might be your shortstop of the future. He's young. He goes back to AAA next year. That's no problem. I think Loperfido makes the team just because of his skill set and because of the left-handed bat. But, you know, you've got guys like Barger, Wagner. What is Will Wagner? You know, how does he fit in here? You know, if Spencer Horwitz is your everyday second baseman, where does Will Wagner go? So there are a lot of possibilities that are being created by what we've seen so far here. And, you know, if these guys, I mean, if Will Wagner continues to do what he's doing through to the end of September, I mean, he's a guy, he's going to be in other teams' radars. And that's part of what, it's part of why it was important for the Jays to do what they did at the trade deadline. And we haven't even talked about guys like McAdoo and Clase. You know, who are in the case of Clase, a guy who was on the cusp of the major leagues himself. 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590, 5-4. The Blue Jays walk off the Los Angeles Angels. We'll take a break, go back to the phone lines. We'll hear from the skipper. It's Blue Jays Talk on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
So, you want to be a Looney Dogger, eh? Every Tuesday, Blue Jays home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. Grab $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around Rogers Center. Plus, stop by the Schneider's Porch, your hot dog headquarters. The destination for a one-of-a-kind hot dog experience with excellent ballpark views. So, whether you're the relish ringleader or seventh-inning snacker, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. Don't miss out on this delicious deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
This summer, catch the excitement of Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet. From pregame to postgame, Blue Jays Central breaks down what went down and why. When the action heats up on the field, Sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet app take you deeper inside the game. Headlines, scores, highlights, and more.
It is way out of here.
Watch or stream on Sportsnet or listen to every game on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. All summer, only one source brings you closer to the action. Sportsnet, home of the Blue Jays.
We're two men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikey's accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're two men in a truck.
Two men and a truck. the movers who care.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Centre. Visit timbermart.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
0-2 swing and a miss, strike 3.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
With authority. That was great. You know, that was really cool. Kind of flipped the script from, a couple of days ago where you get down early and you kind of peck away. Great swing from Joey, great at bat from Bart. That was cool. It's fun. It's fun for me, the staff, the guys, the veteran guys. That was pretty cool.
You've been in a lot of walk-off clubhouses before. As much as you can tell us, what is different about a walk-off celebration with a lot of young guys like this?
Well, it's new for a lot of them. And again, I think that the veteran guys do a good job of enjoying it. It's something that, Bard will remember that. Joey will remember that swing. Unbelievable night from Joey all around. But yeah, it was cool. The guys had fun in there.
It's John Schneider, manager of the Blue Jays, after their 5-4 win over the Los Angeles Angels tonight at the Rogers Center. Addison Barger, Joey Loperfido going back-to-back. Barger's home run, the walk-off. Just pulled a 93-mile-an-hour fastball foul, then gets an 89-mile-an-hour changeup, a hard changeup from Roansy Contreras. And, Ron Washington. I mean, you know what Ron Washington was thinking, the Angels manager. I mean, he goes with Ben Joyce in the 8th inning against the quote-unquote meat of the Blue Jays lineup, the middle of the lineup. And then, goes to Roansy Contreras in the 9th inning and thinking that he's going to be facing 7, 8, 9. He probably, I'm sure, assumed that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was going to come up at some point. But, if the Angels were playing for anything, I'm sure people would be questioning Ron Washington's decision-making. But that, to me, was a little bit like what we've seen John Schneider do in the past, right? You take your best against what you think will be the best part of your opponent's lineup. In this case, it didn't work out. It didn't work out for the Angels at all. 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. Sean in Calgary, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
How you doing tonight, my man?
Doing well, man. Doing very well. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I'll take that's, you know what? There's, after, 18 months of run prevention, I'm enjoying watching guys hit home runs.
That was super enjoyable. I enjoyed it on my balcony tonight, and just from beginning to end. I was
thinking
some absolute hope.
Yeah, Sean, I got to tell you, you know what I was thinking? That would have been a great game to be sitting outside having a beer to.
It was absolutely perfect, and I happened to score this one beginning to end, so it made it even sweeter to mark in those home runs. It was just lovely.
Let me ask you this: of the young guys, I'm not going to call them young guys. Of the non-core guys, okay, of the non-core guys, who has impressed you the most right now? Like who's got you the most excited?
I'm pretty jazzed about Will Wagner, I got to say.
Mm-hmm.
Really excited. And I do have to quickly say no controversy about bringing in the big guy in the 8th for me.
No, I'm with you.
Even if it is the highest of leverages, just to get that out of the way.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
I am excited about Loperfido and Wagner, and it's just it's really nice. And I'd love having Bassitt on the mound. I gotta say, when he gives up 4 and you're sitting, it is very relaxing to have Chris Bassitt coming out in the 3rd inning. Really.
No, you know what? Thanks for the call. It's I mean, you think Chris Bassitt had 39 pitches in that 2nd inning. Starting out the inning by hitting Kevin Pillar, and it just went downhill from there. But the Jays pecked away. They pecked away, and I've got to tell you, seldom have I had a feeling in a Blue Jays game this year where I'm sitting there and it's 5-2, and I don't know why, but I'm saying to myself, I think they're going to win this game. I don't have any idea why I felt that way, but I just had a feeling that they were going to put something together and win the game. And I have to admit, I thought it was just setting up for Vladdy to come off the bench and do something. But quite frankly, as much as it's fun watching Vladdy hit home runs, come on, give me an Addison Barger walk-off any day. I mean, I said this to somebody the other day. I really hope Addison Barger's good because I just like watching him. I mean, I admit, I like watching the hair. I like watching the helmet fly off. I like all that stuff. I want to be entertained a bit. And I find these guys entertaining. And you know what? As I said, if you look at the shots in the dugout during the game, I think the players find them entertaining too. Tony and Maple, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Hey, Jeff, how are you?
Good, man.
Hey, I want to agree with you that it was great to watch tonight. Very entertaining. A lot of energy in that game. Hopefully it continues into the next few years and we get more of that. But, Jeff, I got to say something. I was not disappointed, but a little bit surprised with you yesterday.
Okay.
Regarding Joey Votto and all the accolades he's been getting from you and everybody in the media pretty much.
Right.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I could be, because it happened quite a while ago. But Joey Votto, if I'm not mistaken, he made some comments basically not appreciating, and I'm putting it lightly, Canada. And saying he couldn't care about Canada, baseball in Canada, and all of this sort of stuff, Jeff.
Yep.
And you know what? To me, as a Canadian, proud Canadian, and to see a guy who grew up here, became what he is, from the benefit of Canada, not say something good. I've been raised to say, if you can't say something good, don't say anything at all. Why would he do that and then have if he did, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, he did.
Okay.
He did.
Why should we praise this guy?
A couple of reasons. One, he apologized. He didn't walk it back. He apologized, said what he said. If you remember, I think it was he had a handwritten note, and it might have been Jamie Campbell who first tweeted out there, but he had a handwritten note where he apologized, said he was not in a great place at the time. I've talked about Joey. Joey's a complicated guy, and if you talk to his teammates, Joey changed as he got older. There's this whole Joey wearing the Mounties outfit, Joey being mic'd up and being, Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky. That wasn't always the case. He was always an odd duck. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. He was always an odd duck. He always marched to his own drummer. I had people who know Joey Votto told me that there was and this is years ago, like I'm talking 6, 7, 8 years ago, that just Joey Votto's got no interest in playing in Toronto. He just doesn't want to have anything to do with what would come with, being in Toronto. I mean, he was happy to live in Cincinnati, happy to enjoy it's not that you're anonymous in Cincinnati because it's a big baseball town, but I think Joey felt that there was a little more privacy, that he would be able to enjoy things a little more in Cincinnati. And then, you know what? And they changed. And he apologized. And I have no problem with that. I really don't. Listen, I've had to apologize a lot in my life. I've said a ton of things I regret. I've written a ton of things that I regret. And I like to think that I know the difference between an apology and BS. Like, I think I've got pretty good BS detectors. And I really do think Joey Votto realized that what he said didn't come out the way he wanted it to. But instead of saying it didn't come out the way he wanted it to, he said, I just shouldn't have said it. And I give him credit for that. And I am quite happy that he did not play a game for the Blue Jays. Now, he's a Cincinnati Red. I don't want to even think of Joey Votto in a Jays uniform. I just don't. Not going to put a bow, and I loved what he said here. Not going to put a bow in his career. He's not a Blue Jay. He's a Toronto kid, but he's not a Blue Jay. He's never been a Blue Jay. You know, what did he say yesterday about, I'm really not, I'm not going to wear a Blue Jays uniform and take away an at-bat from somebody else's, the organization. I mean, I completely get that. I give him credit for doing that. I still don't understand what the hell the Blue Jays were thinking, but I mean, that's just one of a number of things they've done that I don't understand. And I'm sure there'll be more to come because the season isn't over yet. But no, I give Joey Votto credit for the way he handled that situation. And as I said, I'm glad it ended with, as always, thanks so much for joining us. The Blue Jays have walked off the Los Angeles Angels. Thank you very much for joining us on Blue Jays Baseball. As always, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Saint-Jérôme and Saint-Eustache, Quebec. Protect your...
This has been Major League Baseball play-by-play on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app.
Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game?
Calling this game? Calling this game?
Why do I love calling this game? It's because I get a chance to bring some joy into people's lives.
Anything can happen on a baseball field.
We've got a new game.
It's perfectly unscripted theater.
Everybody on their feet.
Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
It is Bedlam at the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top.
There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather.
A swing and a drive to deep left center.
The way leather hits dirt.
And he made the play. Oh, my.
The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history.
High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall.
Until the cleats hit the grass, hit the crushed brick, and then nothing but sky and a silent crowd.
That ball's high.
Until leather hits leather and 40,000 fans lose their collective minds.
In a perfect symphony of chaos.
He jumped up on top of the wall, balanced himself, and caught it.
The way nothing triumphs a perfectly honest call.
I don't believe what I just saw.
And the way the right voice can make a moment live forever.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Outsiders may think this is just two teams.
A ball, a bat, and a microphone. But no.
For over 100 years, this has been the soundtrack of the American pastime.
He struck it out looking. It's over. It's over. The Rangers have won the World Series.
The soundtrack of summer. This is Major League Baseball on the radio.
Right now on SiriusXM.
All rise.
Coming in 5.
Get ready to play. 4.
Get up. Get up.
3.
Can you believe it?
Put your seatbelt on.
Wow.
Talk about the game and all the stories on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89, and the SiriusXM app.
Keeps it down and he fills up the strike zone. I mean, he has been, he couldn't go to a new team and get off to a better start than what he's done. And the Orioles really needed that. You know, when you lose Grayson Rodriguez to injury, and who knows when he'll be back, you lost Kyle Bradish for the year, you lost John Means for the year. You know, as concerned as you are with the Orioles bullpen, I'll be honest with you, I'm more concerned about the rotation. I'm more concerned when they're matching up, when they get to the playoffs after Corbin Burns. That's the area I'm concerned about the most. But if Eflin pitches this way, he'll be a big answer. He certainly has been a godsend for them.
The PGA Tour comes to life on SiriusXM. It's your destination for everything on the tour. Hear live hole-by-hole coverage and expert analysis. PGA Tour Radio, SiriusXM 92.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Friday, August the 23rd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 6:40 p.m. Pittsburgh Pirates take on the Cincinnati Reds. Pirates